I spent my evolution points on Agwe, and wow, my little skeleton went from a skinny spellcaster to a full-on tier 4 bone knight. He got shiny glowing bones. A blue skeleton horse appeared out of nowhere, and he just climbed on it looking absolutely legendary. I was honestly impressed with myself. The only problem? His skills are kind of trash for what I need. He has Hellfire, which boosts spell damage. Great idea, except Agwe has 0 attack spells. It's like giving a fish a bicycle. At least Death Grip can yank enemies over and stun them for 3 seconds, which is something. I told Agwe to go pick a room and please, for the love of everything, stop laughing at night. That creepy cackle would give anyone a heart attack. Then I found out Agwe picked his room based entirely on the fact that it had 3 fishing rods inside. This skeleton has his priorities straight. So at 8 p.m. this guy sneaks off to the lake alone to night fish and starts cackling so loud he scared all the swans half to death. Mu Tianxing was on night duty watching dance videos when the horrible laughing nearly killed him too. He came over to drag Agwe away, touched his shoulder, and accidentally donated some of his cursed energy straight into Agwe's body. Then Agwe casually pulled out an epic tier white bone pearl like it was nothing. Mu Tianxing, who has been dungeon crawling for years and only owns 1 epic item, absolutely lost his mind looking at this 15-level skeleton. They made a deal. Mu Tianxing dumps his curse energy into Agwe, and Agwe gets unlimited fishing privileges. Agwe said, "Gaga," and shook his skull. Deal sealed. The energy hit 100%, and my boy is about to learn a brand new undead skill. Best fishing trip ever. So last night, Mu Tianxing touched Agwe's shoulder and accidentally dumped 1/10 of his death curse energy into the white bone pearl. Just 1/10. That already filled it up 40%. When they disconnected, Mu Tianxing literally looked 7 to 8 years younger. The man was so happy he immediately called some woman named Luo Yushang and told her to drop everything and become mayor of Tianfeng City, just to babysit my skeleton. A vice guild master. As a babysitter. For my fishing skeleton. Incredible. Meanwhile, Agwe was just sitting there zoning out, but actually he was thinking hard about what cool spell to learn. I told him I wanted something magical and flashy, and this little genius delivered beyond my wildest dreams. White Bone Throne. A literal floating skeleton throne that blasts everything in range and can stack damage infinitely the longer it charges. Oh, and I can SIT on it. My boy got me a royal throne. I almost cried. Next morning, Sun Tzu showed up with breakfast and news that school wanted to hire a combat instructor. The moment I heard, instructor fee is not cheap, I called the principal immediately. Principal Chun, I know a master-level instructor. We'll work at senior-level prices. Trust me, Sun Tzu lost his mind when I summoned Ollie, standing there in silver armor, holding his violin like an absolute painting come to life. Bro, he'll kill us in 1 hit, Sun Tzu said, sweating. Relax, I said. He'll control his strength. Worst case, just a few broken bones. Sun Tzu did not look comforted. We were walking to school, literally 1 kilometer away, when the sky suddenly went dark. A giant zombie statue dropped from the sky 100 meters in front of us. Its eyes lit up blood red, covering 5 kilometers in creepy light, making the most horrible grinding teeth sound I've ever heard. And then a purple portal just sucked us both in. No warning. No tutorial. Just gone. Back in the city, every alarm went off at once. Nightmare difficulty dungeon. Level 10 to 20. 25-person limit. 2 players already trapped inside. 2 hours to clear it before the monsters break free into the city. Those 2 players were obviously me and Sun Tzu. We really just wanted to go to school, man. Outside, everyone was panicking about me and Sun Tzu being sucked into a nightmare difficulty regional dungeon. Guild Master Lin Yuan was rushing over with 100 people. Deputy Mayor Xin Chong was setting up barriers. Everyone was saying, "Oh no, those poor kids won't survive." Meanwhile, I looked at the dungeon info screen and thought, perfect. I had been searching all last night for a good level 15 to 20 nightmare dungeon and couldn't find one. Every good one was either taken or didn't have nightmare mode. And now the universe just literally vacuum sucked me into exactly what I needed. I snapped my fingers to call Agwe. He appeared wearing a little yellow straw hat, holding a fishing rod. This skeleton went fishing at 6 a.m. before getting summoned into a life or death dungeon. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely unhinged. I love him. Put the rod away. We're working. Agwe cackled, put away his fishing gear, and summoned 5,000 undead creatures. 5,000. Just casually. Then he stopped, and I was like, why did you stop? Then he pulled out the white bone throne. A giant, glowing crystal skeleton throne materialized behind me. Agwe walked over, bowed deeply, and gestured, my king. Please sit. I sat down. It was honestly really comfortable. My only concern was whether Agwe might accidentally blow me up when using it in combat. Valid concern. The throne floated into the air. Agwe rode his skeleton horse forward. 5,000 undead marched behind us. And then Ali, completely unprompted, started playing violin. He chose a holy-sounding Buddhist melody for an army of undead zombies. In a zombie dungeon, we looked more evil than the actual monsters inside. I cannot stress this enough. 5 minutes in, we met the first enemies, level 16 tier 3 elite jungle zombies. Tough stats, nasty poison bite, lots of HP. I leaned back on my throne, tilted my head slightly, and said, destroy them. Agwe screamed his battle cry, and the entire undead flood just swallowed those 8 zombies whole. Under 1 minute. Gone. For 1,000 EXP. Regional dungeons give several times more experience than normal ones. I'm getting 2 to 3 levels from this trip easy. Best accidental field trip ever. The dungeon counter suddenly hit 25/25. The professional assault team had arrived. I had one thought. Those guys are not stealing my boss experience. Agwe. Faster. Agwe yanked his skeleton horse reins and waved his arm forward like a general leading a cavalry charge. 5,000 undead creatures went full send through the jungle, absolutely demolishing every zombie in sight like a plague of locusts. 42 jungle zombies. 15 minutes. All dead. All mine. We even got loot, some jungle boots, and a poison dagger. Pretty good stuff. I equipped the boots, lost my set bonus, gained 3% speed. Honestly fine. With Agwe's, everyone for me. Talent keeping me alive through the undead army. Whether I have 1,000 more or less HP means literally nothing. I am functionally immortal as long as my skeleton army exists. Past the jungle we hit an abandoned military camp. New enemy unlocked. Disease zombies. Level 17. Giant bloated things waddling around leaking green poison gas that melts your defense. Oh, and when they die they explode and blast everything within 5 meters. Rude. Extremely rude. I leaned back on my throne and casually announced, ranged attacks only. Melee troops, don't get blown up. Agwe, who used to just mindlessly charge everything, actually organized the troops. Skeleton warriors formed a ring to hold the zombies in place. 3,000 skeleton archers lined up in formation and just rained arrows. Each archer does like 30 damage, but 3,000 of them firing together? 100,000 damage per volley. 3 volleys per zombie. Clean, efficient, beautiful. Boom. First zombie dies and explodes, blasting a few dozen skeleton warriors into bone fragments. Agwe immediately raised his hand and summoned 100 more soldiers. 10 minutes later, all 34 disease zombies were dead. And somehow my army didn't shrink. It grew by 3,000. We're at 12,000 undead now. We came in with 5,000. The dungeon is accidentally feeding us. We got 3 identical golden accessories from the loot. Active HP recovery items. Absolutely premium gear. I gave one to Ollie. The other 2? I'll sell them later. Me personally using a save your life item is pointless when I cannot die. Deeper into the camp near the kitchen, a nearly 2-meter-tall zombie walked out carrying a giant horse-slaying sword. Zombie Centurion. Level 18. 500,000 HP. Skills. A double-slash combo that guarantees a critical hit. A bloodthirst charge that stuns. A rage mode below 30% HP. And an immunity to crowd control for 5 seconds. Nasty. Genuinely nasty. It spotted me floating on my throne immediately and locked eyes with me, then realized I was too far away to reach. So it turned around and looked at Ollie instead. Ollie, standing there in silver armor, holding his violin, completely calm. Poor Centurion. It had no idea what it just chose to fight. So the zombie Centurion completely ignored my entire army of 12,000 undead and decided Ollie was the biggest threat in the room. Honestly, correct assessment. Terrible life choice. It charged at Ollie with its giant horse-slaying sword. Agaway, absolutely offended at being ignored, yanked it back mid-charge with death grip like, "Excuse me, you're fighting me first." So Agaway and the Centurion started just hitting each other. A skeleton and a zombie going back and forth like two drunk guys in a parking lot. Agaway's defense was way better, so the Centurion was barely scratching him. Agaway was dealing okay damage back, but honestly, no attack skills. He was just bonking it with a stick. Then Ollie arrived. One shoulder charge. Stunned for 0.4 seconds. Centurion activated its unyielding immunity skill. Ollie didn't care. He had already been charging his sword slash the whole time. Minus 253,000 critical hit. Then another slash. Then a 3-combo sweep. Total damage, nearly 700,000. The Centurion had 500,000 HP. Ollie dealt 200,000 extra damage than the thing had health. The unyielding immunity hadn't even expired yet when it died. It never got to use its finishing move. Just absolutely, completely, embarrassingly deleted. I said, "Nice work, Ollie." "Good job, Agaway, too." I was sitting on my floating bone throne the entire time watching. Everyone else has to walk on the ground. People literally have to look up at me. I love this dungeon. The loot dropped a skill book, a platinum sword, and a special dungeon key crystal. I gave Ollie both the sword and the skill book. The unyielding immunity is perfect for him against bossy, control-heavy enemies. He was very happy. Ollie being happy equals more things getting deleted equals good for me. First area cleared. 1 out of 4 done. 3 purple portals appeared. Poison Laboratory, General's Corridor, Scholar's Library. I had 1 hour 35 minutes left. One area took 25 minutes. For areas plus final boss. Math was tight. I picked the Scholar's Library. Magic-type monsters have low HP. Easier to kill. Smart choice. I am a genius. Meanwhile outside, Guild Master Lin Yuan and Deputy Mayor Shinchong were watching the dungeon map on the zombie statue and saw one area go dark, meaning cleared. They were both smiling proudly, patting each other on the back, assuming the 23-person assault team worked incredibly hard to clear it so fast. The assault team really came through. At this rate, they'll finish in time no problem. The assault team had just entered their second corridor. They hadn't cleared anything yet. That was me. Alone. With my skeleton army. Nobody outside knew. And somewhere in the assault team, a quiet guy with glasses pushed them up and muttered, "Idiots walking toward their deaths." Which is either very suspicious or very dramatic. Probably both. I was busy clearing dungeons inside, completely unaware that outside, things were going absolutely insane. While Deputy Mayor Shinchong was casually complimenting how fast that Lin Yuan kid was moving through the dungeon, a massive dark shockwave came out of nowhere and one-shot the barrier that could absorb 500,000 damage. Just deleted it. First hit. Gone. A man in black robes floated down from the sky holding a spell book with a purple skull on the cover, looking maximally evil and extremely pleased with himself. Named Xiao Jun Dark Knights Guild, level 56 Dark Mage. Just showed up in the middle of the city like a final boss cutscene nobody ordered. Guild Master Lin Yuan immediately summoned his ice staff and went up to stall him. Froze the entire surrounding 100 meters into a winter wonderland. Xiao Jun yawned essentially, pointed one finger, and summoned a dark magic dragon that breathed on the entire ice world and just melted it. Lin Yuan survived only because he had 3 defensive skills active simultaneously. Still got badly hurt. Then Xiao Jun cast a mass imprisonment spell that froze everybody in purple magic bubbles. Guild Master, Deputy Mayor, everyone. Can't move. Can't act. Everyone except Liao Chun, the enforcement captain, who broke free with a wind technique and unleashed hundreds of punches in 3 seconds. Xiao Jun literally caught him with a demon hand that appeared behind him. Squeezed. Crack. Bone sounds. Liao Chen dropped to the ground. Status unknown. Weak. Also weak. Xiao Jun went full villain speech mode. The strong should rule everything. Then the real reveal dropped. Xiao Jun had deliberately moved this dungeon into the city. The whole thing was his plan. He wanted to use a sacrifice magic circle, using an entire city of humans as fuel to temporarily summon a level 60 dark dragon from the demon world into the real world. In exchange, The dragon promised him its SSS-level dark magic talent. He even planted a spy inside the assault team to make sure nobody cleared the dungeon in time. He was standing there activating his sacrifice circle, everyone trapped, dungeon timer running down, and genuine despair spreading through the crowd, when suddenly the air went ice cold. A white figure came shooting across the dark sky like a meteor. White outfit, light blue embroidery on the sleeves. A sword. One name came out of Xiao Jun's mouth, and he immediately, activated every single defensive skill he had all at once. Black dragon armor, demon skin, magic shield, dark transformation. All of them. No hesitation. Pure survival panic. Didn't matter. A white branch of sword light appeared in the sky, went straight through Xiao Jun's body, and bloomed into white flowers all around him, wrapping him like a snow lotus. Beautiful. Poetic. Absolutely devastating. The flower exploded. Xiao Jun, deceased. Every imprisonment spell broke instantly. Everyone was free. The woman landed lightly in front of the statue, back turned to everyone, and said in a cool, calm voice, "Where is Lin Yuan?" Not a question. A statement. And I was still inside the dungeon completely oblivious, probably yelling at Ague about fish. Outside, the new city mayor had arrived, Luo Yushang, vice president of the Wushuang Guild, the woman Mu Tianxing called last night. She showed up, flashed her badge, put the entire city on maximum alert, and then calmly asked one question. "Where is Lin Yuan?" Guildmaster Lin Yandong explained the situation. She listened, calculated internally that if I cleared to the third zone within 20 minutes, I'd rank top 10 in the national exam. If I killed the boss, top 3. If I solo killed the 25-person raid boss. She immediately dismissed that thought. Even SHE couldn't do that at level 20. Reasonable assumption. Completely incorrect. But reasonable. Back inside, I walked into the scholar's library and found exactly what I predicted. Fire-type magic zombies. High attack, low defense. Total glass cannons. Skeleton warriors charge in. Skeleton archers open fire. 1 volley per zombie. 35 fire corpses dead in under 5 minutes. I was picking up loot when I heard a very familiar voice yelling, "Lin Bro. Over here." I looked around. Nobody there. I'm here. On the skeleton warrior in front, Sun Tzu, possessing one of my skeleton soldiers. This absolute maniac had been hiding inside a monster's body for 30 straight minutes because the fire zombies were chasing him everywhere. He had no way to fight back, and in a moment of genius panic he just possessed one of them. Blended in perfectly. Survived. The problem was when my skeleton archers showed up and started killing all the fire zombies. They also killed the one Sun Tzu was hiding in. So he immediately jumped bodies and possessed one of my skeleton warriors instead. Then he waited, silently, inside my skeleton troop, until I was close enough to hear him. I told him this was actually a great strategy. If he can't beat a monster, just possess it and nag it to death from the inside. Sun Tzu took notes. Literally. Then he looked around at my 12,000 undead army, the floating bone throne, me sitting on it like a king, and Sun Tzu, this man, this absolute poet, cleared his throat and performed. Heroes of this age, watch Lin Yuan rise today, once a simple mortal, now summoner supreme, white bone throne erected, armies at his will, like a god descending, 10,000 kneel still. Ague froze completely, then slowly began clapping his skeleton hands together. Even the undead skeleton was impressed. I was sitting on my throne trying very hard to look dignified and cool. I failed completely. I was laughing too hard. Ha ha, stop saying true things out loud. We pushed deeper into the library and immediately got hit by a wall of heat so intense it was hard to breathe. Classic fire dungeon design. Very uncomfortable. Zero effect on my undead army because skeletons don't breathe. 13 monsters total. 12 zombie students arranged around the room, each standing on a fire rune plate, all connected to a giant flame cage in the center where the boss was locked up dramatically. The boss opened his mouth. Distinguished guests have arrived. Welcome them. A normal team would need to carefully manage this fight. Control mana, watch positioning, coordinate heals, peel for the backline. I said, "Everyone attack," and walked forward on my throne. 2 minutes later, all 12 students were dead. I didn't even need to think about it. The fire cage dropped. Boss landed on the ground. Zombie Scholar. Level 18. Immediately started casting his big wipe the room spell with a 5-second cast time. Casting his ultimate first? No manners whatsoever. Agaway. Get him. Death grip activated. The scholar got yanked mid-cast across the room straight to Agaway's face. Spell cancelled. He smacked Agaway on the skull with his red staff. Minus 1,246 damage. Agaway hit him back with a stick. Minus 5,870 damage. Agaway saw that number and started hitting more enthusiastically. Highest damage he'd ever done. Very proud of himself. I looked at Ollie. Ollie was already dragging his horse-slaying sword across the floor, leaving a deep groove, building up for his signature combo. The scholar was crowd-controlled. Couldn't dodge. Just had to watch. Minus 392,350 critical hit. First sword strike. Boss HP, 1 point remaining. 1 point. His passive shield activated. Immunity to control. Defense dropped to 0. Minus 324,300. Second strike. 3 combo sweep after that. Shield broke. And then Ollie calmly, silently, raised his sword and finished it with one final execution strike. Minus 30,000. Sword goes behind the back. Ollie turns around. Doesn't even look at the body. Sun Tzu immediately ran over and collected all the loot like an excited golden retriever and dumped everything in front of my throne. Scholar's Library total haul, 6 gold items. 3 platinum items. A belt that boosts fire magic damage. Gloves that increase spell power and casting speed. A bracelet that generates a free shield whenever you're out of combat. I equipped all 3 platinum pieces. Now my only non-platinum gear is my helmet, shoulders, pants, chest, and boots. I walked into this dungeon by accident on my way to school. Best morning ever. I tossed all my old gear to Sun Tzu. He caught it with both hands and immediately launched into a dramatic speech about serving his lord and master. I have wandered half my life searching for a worthy master. If you would have me, shut up and say thank you normally. Thanks, Lin bro. You're the best. Much better. I checked the timer. 1 hour, 18 minutes left. I'd cleared the library in under 20 minutes. Absolutely elite pace. 2 zones left, Poison Laboratory or General's Corridor. Sun Tzu pointed out the assault team was probably in one of those areas. I said I didn't mind sharing some experience points as long as they stayed out of my way. Very generous of me. I picked up the red crystal that activates the final boss, walked through the left portal into the Poison Laboratory, and didn't think about it twice. Outside, every time a zone went dark on the statue map, Lin Yuan pumped his fist and cheered. Xinqiang relaxed. Everyone congratulated the assault team on their incredible speed. Mayor Luo Yushang announced that everyone who cleared the dungeon would receive a platinum equipment reward. Professionals who couldn't get in immediately started crying about missing out. Nobody outside realized it was still just me doing all the clearing. Meanwhile, deep in the General's Corridor, the actual 23-person assault team had just barely finished their second hallway. They were resting, chatting excitedly about diamond-tier loot drops, completely happy and relaxed, when the quiet glasses guy in the corner, Zhao Yang, Xiao Jun's planted spy, saw everyone distracted in the same spot and thought, now. He stood up and ripped open a dark imprisonment scroll. Someone in the team spotted him and yelled, too late. Purple energy exploded outward. All 22 assault team members frozen solid. Can't move. Can't fight. Team Captain Zhao Xiong, completely locked in place, stared at Zhao Yang with pure rage. What are you doing? Zhao Yang took off his glasses slowly, smiled, and explained his whole villain motivation. Strong people should rule. Weak people deserve nothing. The Dark Knights Guild is right. The usual speech. Then he dropped the real news. After today, Tianfeng City will cease to exist. Darkness is coming to the real world. 22 elite professionals. Frozen. Trapped. No way out. And I was in the Poison Laboratory completely unaware, probably sitting on my throne while Agaway fished between combat encounters. Dungeon on a timer. Spy activated. City at risk. Everything was totally fine. Outside, Lin Yuan was staring at the dungeon map, confused about why Lin Yuan wasn't moving into the boss area after clearing the corridor. Everyone was theorizing, maybe cooldowns, maybe summoned creatures died, maybe waiting for backup. They were all watching the wrong zone entirely. I was in the Poison Laboratory. Nobody outside knew. The new enemies were poison gas zombies. Green, bloated, constantly leaking toxic fumes, uglier than the diseased zombies from before, which I didn't think was physically possible. They looked like human-shaped toads. Sun Tzu pinched his nose just looking at them. These things are so gross, Lin bro, I deeply agreed. 0 notes. Agaway. Destroy them. Agaway, who has absolutely no concept of ugly, and just sees whatever Lin Yuan dislikes as an enemy, charged in immediately. Too enthusiastically. 6 zombies simultaneously sprayed poison directly into his face and paralyzed him on the spot. He just stood there, getting sprayed, in the middle of the enemy formation. Your summon is very brave, Sun Tzu said, in a tone that was definitely not a compliment. Yep, I said proudly. Agaway is extremely brave. Agaway stood there absorbing all the attention while my skeleton archers shot everything around him. He cannot die. This is a valid strategy. I'm calling it the Agaway tank protocol. 34 poison zombies deleted. Level up to 17. Sun Tzu hit level 13 just from healing on the side. We got 4 level, 2 poison gemstones from the loot. Not the most exciting drop, but still worth something. We pushed into the actual laboratory building. Narrow corridors, so my throne couldn't fit. I had to walk like a regular person. Genuinely humiliating. Inside, a sign on the wall said, Laboratory Center 500 meters. Sun Tzu immediately got suspicious. Lin bro, which boss literally posts directions to their own lair. This is obviously a trap. Reasonable point. Agaway, go check. Agaway trotted down the right corridor on his skeleton horse, completely unbothered. 2 minutes later we heard cackling from ahead. No screaming, no explosion. All clear. We walked to the center. The door opened on its own. Adventurers, please come in. Inside sat the most skeletal living human I had ever seen. Sunken eyes, 0 fat on his face, looked basically already dead. According to his nameplate, he was the chief alchemist of the Lizhan dynasty, Gavin. Level 20. Currently mid-zombie transformation. HP, 1 out of 550,000. Attack, 0. Defense, 0. Skills, none. He was basically a cutscene. He weakly explained that if we'd arrived 15 minutes later, we would have found a fully transformed zombie boss instead of a dying old man. I sat down across from him, crossed my legs, and asked, So is there any way to speed up your transformation? Gavin stared at me. Sun Tzu stared at me. I was completely serious. Gavin stared at me for a few seconds after I asked him to speed up his own zombie transformation. You're an interesting person, he said weakly. You're a person who wastes time, I said. Get to the point. Gavin explained his offer. Kill him at the exact moment his transformation completes. The poison crystal in his chest becomes impure. The final boss Lizhan stays at tier 3 instead of reaching tier 4. Easier to kill. In return, platinum treasure chests. 2 silver glowing platinum chests appeared in front of me and Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu was practically drooling. But he looked at me and waited. Smart kid. I asked why Gavin wanted to betray his own emperor. Gavin basically said his emperor was an immortality-obsessed idiot who turned an entire kingdom into a zombie wasteland chasing eternal life. Fair enough, honestly. He gave me an official quest. Kill Lizhan. End the rotten dynasty. Reward. 1 more platinum chest plus 30,000 EXP. I slammed my hand on the armrest dramatically. Lizhan is a tyrant who sacrificed his people for personal gain. He deserves death. I'll do it. Sun Tzu accepted the quest before I even finished talking. But here's the thing nobody asked about. If the poison crystal becomes impure, Lizhan stays at tier 3, which means weaker loot. Possibly no diamond tier equipment. Possibly no S-rank skills. I want the platinum chests. Obviously. I also want Lizhan at full tier 4 power for maximum loot. I want everything. So my plan, kill Gavin at exactly the right moment. Keep the crystal as pure as possible. Get all the rewards simultaneously. I leaned back in my chair, tilted my head to one side, and said one word. Ollie. Ollie was already running. Horse slaying sword raised. Charging combo activated. Immune to all control. Unstoppable. Minus 346,570 critical hit. Minus 168,400. Then without even looking back, Ollie raised one hand and fired his execution strike. Minus 55,000. The zombie alchemist boss died before it could use a single skill. Didn't even get to see who hit it. Sun Tzu screamed, Ollie, you legend. And then the notifications appeared. Ali's Berserk Charge upgraded from B rank to A rank. Heroic Charge now gives unstoppable body and guarantees next skill crits. His Charge Sword Draw upgraded from A rank to S rank. One flash, slash an entire 20-meter line, then teleport behind the target for a bonus strike. S rank. Again, this is his second S rank skill. I started doing mental math on how long before all of Ali's skills reach S rank. The answer made me very happy. Ali celebrated by playing violin. Completely normal Tuesday for us. The zombie alchemist dropped 2 platinum pieces, pants with HP regen, and a helmet with poison resistance. I equipped both immediately. Checked my total HP, 28,000. For reference, the assault team captain Zhao Xiong, level 20 tank, full endurance build, all gold gear, has barely 10,000 HP at max buffs. I'm level 17. Just saying. Picked up the poison crystal, stepped through the portal into General's corridor, and heard everyone outside celebrating another zone clearing. Mayor Luo Yusheng nodded approvingly, thinking the assault team was crushing it. 3 zones cleared. All me. Nobody outside knew. Walking through the corridor with Sun Tzu, he asked if Gavin the alchemist was a good person or bad person. Obviously good, I said immediately. He gave us a quest and dropped equipment. If he's not a good person, nobody is, Sun Tzu thought about it. Yeah, great guy actually. The first hallway had 0 zombies. Assault team cleared it already. Sun Tzu pointed out we hadn't seen the assault team yet, which meant they were probably stuck and definitely hadn't reached the boss. Should we let them fight the boss first if they get there? We're not stealing bosses, I said. That's bad manners. Besides, I already killed 3. Then we heard screaming from ahead. Not monster screaming. Human screaming. The entire assault team was frozen solid in purple imprisonment bubbles, yelling every insult imaginable at a guy named Zhao Yang, the spy Xiao Jun planted inside. He was standing there smiling while 22 professionals called him every name in existence. Completely unbothered. Time's almost up, Zhao Yang said calmly. You can't clear the dungeon. The city dies. And you won't even get to watch, Sun Tzu whispered. Lin bro. Traitor. I heard. I thought for a second. Regional dungeon appearing out of nowhere. Sacrifice magic circle outside. Spy inside. The real target was never the dungeon. It was the entire city. So what do we do? Sun Tzu asked. I smiled. We ruin their plan. I want to see who stops me from clearing this dungeon. Ague rode around the corner on his skeleton horse. 10,000 undead followed behind him. Everyone, the frozen assault team and Zhao Yang, went completely silent. Zhao Yang was confused. Skeletons? Why are there skeletons here? The assault team was equally confused. They'd cleared all the monsters already. Where did these come from? Then I floated around the corner on my white bone throne, leaning sideways, looking absolutely unbothered. 10,000 undead below me. Ali standing at my left holding his sword like a royal guard. Everyone stared. For a full moment, everyone genuinely wondered if I was the final boss of the dungeon. Captain Zhao Xiong snapped back to reality first, recognized I was human, and immediately went full desperation mode. We're the assault team. He's the traitor. Please capture him and free us. Very humble. Very desperate. Smart man. I looked at Zhao Yang, looked at the frozen assault team, then looked back at Zhao Xiong and said, you should actually be thanking him. What? If he hadn't locked you all here, you'd already be dead. Captain Zhao Xiong got a little offended when I implied they would have died. We pushed to the boss room in 40 minutes. We would have won if not for the traitor. I didn't bother arguing. Some people's brains just can't process information bigger than their experience. Sun Tzu had 0 patience for that, though. He stepped forward, hands on hips. You know why my Lin bro is here right now? Because there were 4 zones total. He already cleared the other 3. Solo. In under an hour. Killed 3 mini-bosses. This is the last one. Dead silence. Wait. 2 people cleared 3 zones while 23 of us barely got through 1 corridor? Correction, Sun Tzu said proudly. Not 2 people. Just Lin bro. Zhao Yang decided this was his moment to pull out another dark scroll and do something dramatic. Ague grabbed him with death grip before he finished unrolling it. Yanked him across the room. Took the scroll right out of his hand. Tossed him into a wall. Skeleton soldiers pinned him to the floor. The whole thing took maybe 4 seconds. Ague presented the scroll to me like a gift. It was a one-time magic scroll dealing 50,000 damage plus permanent defense reduction. I looked at it. Looked at Zhao Yang. You had this and chose to stand there smiling instead of using it immediately. Zhao Yang nearly coughed up blood from pure embarrassment. I pocketed the scroll. Thanks for the gift. He refused to explain how to remove the imprisonment spell, said only time would break it. I shrugged. Honestly, fine. Frozen teammates means no EXP sharing. Zhao Yang, still pinned on the floor with skeleton soldiers on top of him, started laughing when he saw the mini-boss stats. Zombie Guard Commander. Level 20. 700,000 HP. For AoE skills. Short cooldowns. You'll all die, he cackled. Your trash skeletons can't survive one skill. The assault team looked at the stats and went pale. He wasn't wrong. That fourth skill alone could wipe the entire team. I looked at Zhao Yang. Looked at the boss. Looked back. Ollie. Agaway helpfully grabbed Zhao Yang and turned his face directly toward the boss so he couldn't look away. Watch carefully. Silver flash. Ollie moved so fast he left an afterimage. Heroic charge. Unstoppable. Immune to everything. Slammed into the boss, stunning it instantly. One flash activated. Sword tip glowing white. Pierced straight through. Minus 357,980 critical hit. Ollie teleported behind the boss before it could react. Second slash. Minus 359,880 critical hit. Ollie walked back toward everyone after the kill, sword on his back, footsteps slow and steady like a war drum. The entire assault team stood with their mouths open. Did that just happen? 700,000 HP, level 20. Defense 8,000. Deleted by a level 17 summon in 2 hits. Someone pinch me. Actually no, someone splash water on me. Meanwhile Agaway still had Zhao Yang by the throat. Zhao Yang, seeing all of this, immediately switched from villain speech mode to begging mode. I was wrong. Please spare me. I can provide information. Agaway's hand accidentally applied a tiny bit of extra pressure. Crack. Zhao Yang went quiet. Outside, everyone saw the last zone clear and celebrated. Then saw the head count drop by 1 and got sad, worried it might be me. It was not me. I was fine. I was literally sitting on a floating throne. The mini-boss dropped 2 platinum items, a whetstone accessory that boosts first strike damage, and a shield with absolutely ridiculous defense stats. Captain Zhao Xiong stared at that shield like a man seeing water in a desert. He knew he wasn't getting it. I killed the boss alone. Loot is mine. I gave Ollie the whetstone. Kept the shield for selling later. Then I picked up the last magic crystal, gray, joining the red, green, and yellow ones I already had. For crystals total, I walked to the wall slots and inserted them one by one. The walls shook, rumbled, collapsed inward. A 3-meter-tall zombie emperor in bright yellow armor stepped out. Lin Yuan, ruler of the dynasty. Tier 4 commander. Level 22. 1,200,000 HP. 3 phases. The assault team collectively stopped breathing. Tier 4 commander boss, Zhao Xiong whispered. We can't fight that. We literally cannot fight that. Lin Yuan sat on his throne, looked down at everyone like they were insects, and spoke in a voice that rattled everyone's eardrums. Interesting. You dare challenge me at full power. Did that fool Gavin not tell you how to weaken me? I snapped my fingers. Agaway materialized my white bone throne behind me. I leaned back, floated up to eye level with Lin Yuan, and looked at him directly. Gavin told me exactly how to weaken you. I said, kill him at the moment of transformation. Keep the crystals impure. Stop you from reaching tier 4. Lin Yuan waited. I tilted my head sideways onto my hand. I didn't do it. I wanted to see what full power tier 4 you looks like. Specifically whether you're tough enough to survive one hit from Ollie. Lin Yuan laughed at my confidence. Big, dramatic emperor laugh. Then mid-laugh flipped to absolute rage and screamed, how dare you? Classic unstable ruler behavior. Gavin was right to betray him. He activated his crystals and summoned zombie phantoms to help. I told Ollie to go break his throne specifically. Not kill him. Break his throne. Ollie charged in. Heroic charge. Unstoppable. Immune to everything. Blew straight through the phantom's fire cage spell like it wasn't there. Slammed into Lin Yuan. Guaranteed crit activated. 1 flash. Minus 534,680 critical hit. Teleport behind. Second slash. Minus 427,430. The Emperor's throne cracked in half underneath him. Lin Yuan fell off it and hit the floor. A 3-meter zombie emperor. Collapsed. On the ground. Looking absolutely undignified. You broke my precious throne. He was so angry about the throne specifically that he skipped Phase 2 entirely and went straight to Phase 3. Swallowed all 4 crystals at once. Transformed into a 5-meter giant zombie. Roared about the power of demon gods. Ollie dodged his slow charge, turned around, and started his combo again. 3 slashes. Execution strike. Lies Han, 1 HP remaining. Ollie, still full health. Completely unbothered. Then Liashan's final skill activated. Immunity to death for 5 seconds. Attack speed tripled. He started hitting Ollie so fast, it was genuinely dangerous. 30,000 damage in under a second. I was not letting Ollie go into death recovery state. Ague already knew. He raised his hand, cackled, and yanked Liashan over with death grip. Hit me instead. Liashan absolutely lost it on Ague for 3 full seconds. Bones flying everywhere. It was genuinely violent. Death grip ended. Ague still had 14,000 HP left. Liashan, trying to die with dignity, activated his final sword skill to take Ague down with him. Ague bonked him with his stick. Minus 15,000. Minus 2,437. That second number appeared on Ague's skull. He was completely fine. Some random skeleton archer 10 meters away got hit by the shockwave and exploded for no reason. Liashan, 1 HP. Ague bonked him again. Done. 40,000 EXP. 30,000 quest bonus. Level 18. Dungeon cleared. 1 hour 14 minutes. Perfect clear achieved. Summoned full power Liashan and killed him anyway. Reward. A golden crystal ball. A dungeon installation crystal that creates a permanent portal to this dungeon. Plus 2 random bonus traits to add to the dungeon permanently. I spun and got. Divine Blessing. Die inside, and you can respawn after 30 minutes once per day. And basic magic resistance. 10% less magic damage inside. I stared at this crystal for a long moment. I think I just accidentally created something incredibly valuable. A full regional nightmare dungeon. Gold tier, loot minimum. Now with death forgiveness and magic resistance built in. Regular players can actually survive this now. I cleared it in 74 minutes with a skeleton army and a violin-playing warrior. Best school commute ever. Sun Tzu saw the glowing dungeon crystal and nearly lost his mind completely. My eyes. It's too bright. Is that a dungeon with bonus traits? Lin Bro is ascending. The entire Frozen Assault team stretched their necks trying to see what was happening. Still couldn't move. Just suffering over there. Then I checked the boss loot. 3 items dropped. 1 diamond. 2 platinum. Diamond tier, 2-handed greatsword. The glory of the entire Liashan dynasty condensed into 1 weapon. I gave it to Ollie immediately. Obviously. He earned it by deleting a full power emperor in about 45 seconds. I kept the platinum chest armor for myself. Tossed the platinum healing staff to Sun Tzu. Consider it a going-away gift, I said. Sun Tzu understood what I meant. I'm level 18, he's level 14. The gap is only growing. Time for him to find a proper team. He grabbed the staff happily and announced he already made plans to party with 4 girls from before. Aren't you scared they'll wear you out? I joked. Sun Tzu puffed up his chest. Before I was scared. But now with this staff improving my endurance, 4 is nothing. 10 is fine. Please stop talking. The dungeon completion screen appeared. Personal contribution, 97%. Do you want to hide your name from the public announcement? I selected No without hesitating for even half a second. Congratulations to Lin Yuan for clearing the regional nightmare dungeon. Liashan Dynasty Ruins. Let us celebrate 3 times. Full announcement. Everyone in the area received it. I stepped through the portal back outside near school. It was 9:20 a.m. 1 hour 15 minutes since the dungeon appeared. Complete silence. Lin Yandong. Deputy Mayor Shinchong. Every guild leader. Mayor Luo Yushang. Reportedly the strongest swordsman around. All of them standing there processing that the announcement only said 1 name out of 25 people. 97% contribution. Basically solo. While also keeping 22 trapped professionals alive. I smiled and waved at Lin Yandong. Oh hey Guildmaster. Have you eaten yet? Everyone. A beautiful woman in white walked up to me. Introduced herself, Luo Yushang. Level 60. Vice President of Wushuang Guild. New City Mayor. Sent by Mu Tianxing to protect me. I'm Lin Yuan, I said. A completely ordinary summoner. Then I manually activated my Nightmare Conqueror title special effect. Nightmare Conqueror Lin Yuan has entered the area. Let US celebrate. Another announcement. To everyone present, who just watched me walk out of the dungeon. Luo Yushang stared at me. I laughed and tossed her the dungeon installation crystal as a first meeting gift. She caught it, looked at it. Her mouth opened slowly. This is a blessed dungeon. Deputy Mayor Shinchong heard those two words and immediately snapped to attention. When he read the traits, Divine Blessing Resurrection, Magic Resistance, he nearly dropped it. Luo Yushang looked at me with a complicated expression and quietly said, "This needs to go to Commander Qin, the supreme military commander of the entire country." Shinchong held the crystal with shaking hands. "Our city is going to become something incredible." Luo Yushang kept looking at me. "Yes," she said quietly. "It really is." Luo Yushang stood there holding the dungeon crystal, looking genuinely shaken. She'd come expecting to babysit a talented teenager and instead received a gift that could change the entire country's power balance. A blessed regional dungeon, available to ordinary players, death forgiveness included, in a world where such dungeons basically don't exist for normal people. She quietly called Mu Tianqing. I arrived, ran into Xiao Jun from the Dark Knights. Killed him. Lin Yuan is fine, but he caused quite a scene. He gave me a blessed dungeon installation crystal as a first meeting gift. I came too quickly and brought nothing to return the favor. That's your problem now. She hung up before he could respond, then turned to me with a much warmer expression and said Mu Tianqing was waiting for us. She pulled a tiny airplane model from her backpack, tossed it into the air, and it expanded into a full, unmanned passenger jet. Diamond tier vehicle. Got it from a Sky Fortress dungeon. I asked if it had laser cannons. "It's a civilian transport," she said. Disappointing, but cool. Before boarding, I finally checked my dungeon clear rewards. 43,000 evolution points. 50,000 EXP. 10 times the rewards of a normal dungeon. I need 50,000 points to upgrade Ollie to Tier 5. 2 more normal dungeons, and he's there. Tier 5 Battle General Summon. My class advancement exam doesn't stand a chance. Back at the residential compound, Mu Tianqing was lounging in a security guard uniform, looking noticeably younger and genuinely relaxed. I sat down next to him and mentioned the dungeon crystal. "Of course I gave it away," I said. "What am I going to do? Charge admission? Better to boost the whole country's strength. Besides, you sent Luo Yushang to protect me. I had to return the favor somehow. And it stayed within Wushuang Guild anyway. As long as I'm alive, dungeons with bonus traits? I can make as many as needed." Then I leaned back in the lounge chair and closed my eyes. I'm tired. Solo clearing a nightmare regional dungeon is exhausting. Mu Tianqing's eye twitched. He thought, "You didn't do anything. Your summons fought everything. You sat on a floating throne the whole time." He was correct, but could never prove it. He looked at me, looked at Luo Yushang. She shrugged helplessly and sat down elsewhere. Mu Tianqing sighed, reached deep into his bag, and pulled out a card. Job-specific skill card. Epic quality. Random skill matching your class. 90% chance S rank. 9% chance SS rank. 1% chance SSS rank. "This is for you," he said, then gave a whole speech about how protecting me was for the country's future. My dungeon contribution was for the country's future, representing Wushuang Guild deserves recognition. One thing doesn't cancel another. I was already sitting up straight staring at the card before he finished sentence 2. "Oh, Guildmaster, you really didn't have to." My hand took the card extremely naturally before my mouth finished the sentence. "But since you insist." Mu Tianqing was mid-sentence explaining how to find lucky items before using the card. Lucky seeds from a level 30 dungeon. Blessing emblems from a level 40 dungeon. Stack the probabilities first. I had already activated the card. Golden light fell from the sky. A sound like ocean waves crashed through the air. Summon, Naga Empress. SSS rank. Mu Tianqing's eyes nearly fell out of his head. Luo Yushang covered her mouth with both hands. SSS. Rank, a Tier 7 summon. 1 rank above a Tier 6 Lord class. Straight to King class. Usable at level 50. Mu Tianqing collected himself and said honestly, "When you hit level 50 and can actually summon her, even I probably won't be your match." Not probably. Definitely. But I didn't say that out loud. I looked at the skill book and sighed. A Naga Empress. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I actually wanted a dragon. For style reasons mainly. Also, Ollie as a dark rider on a dragon would just look incredible. Dragon Knight combo. Obviously superior aesthetically. Mu Tianxing and Luo Yushang stared at me in silence. The man got an SSS rank skill and called it. Okay, I guess. They decided I needed humbling immediately. Mu Tianxing mentioned a place called the Blood Ring Arena opening in 2 days. Minimum entry level 18. But every guardian boss inside is level 20 minimum, all battle-hardened veterans. Completely different from dungeon monsters. Luo Yushang pointed out that a summoner could get deleted before even finishing the summoning animation. So basically, Mu Tianxing said, interested? Does it have nightmare difficulty? I asked. Yes, then I'm in. If it doesn't have nightmare difficulty, I'm not going. They looked at each other. Agreed. Said they hoped I wouldn't get too badly traumatized. I thought, traumatized by what exactly? I just want the evolution points. After lunch, I napped beautifully. Principal Chun called at 1 p.m. asking about the master-level combat instructor I promised to send. Yes, small issue this morning. I'll send him right now. Very reliable, don't worry. I hung up and yawned. Ollie, go teach the students how to fight. Light hands, don't permanently injure anyone. Also collect the payment from the principal. Ollie nodded, picked up his two-handed sword, and walked out. Those poor students have no idea what's coming. Meanwhile, Agwe was at the lake fishing. Mu Tianxing was sitting beside him pouring tea like a butler, waiting to donate more curse energy. Agwe cackled, slapped his bone armor confidently, and basically said, fully charged, ready for next skill. Mu Tianxing put his hand on Agwe's shoulder. Energy transfer started immediately, 12%, 50%, 100%. Agwe had already decided exactly what skill he wanted to learn next. Mu Tianxing looked at his hands, almost no wrinkles left. Only 50% of the curse energy remaining. 2 more sessions, and I'm completely free. He clenched his fists with genuine emotion. First person to achieve 3rd advancement in history. I will make it happen. At 2 p.m. I walked outside and found Luo Yushang meditating by the door hugging her sword. I asked where to sell equipment fairly. She said, if you have an appraiser friend, go to the black market, best prices. If not, go to the professional association trading area, safe, but standard rates. I had a lot of gold tier gear piling up from the dungeon. Time to turn skeletons into money. We headed to the professional association, and the place was absolutely packed. Hundreds of players under level 20 all lined up because news about the blessed dungeon spread instantly. Nobody wanted to miss a regional dungeon where you can't permanently die. Upstairs in the trading area, a cheerful receptionist scanned all my gold equipment and quoted me 26.5 million. The healing accessories alone were 4 million each. Luo Yushang leaned over and saw the numbers. You're just selling these? Put them in auction and you'd get 20% more. Don't be greedy, I said wisely. Then I crossed out the accessories from the sell list. Sold everything else for 14.5 million. Pocketed the accessories. Luo Yushang was confused for about 30 seconds until she followed me downstairs to the dungeon entrance area and watched me set up a street stall on the floor. Come look, come see. Nightmare Regional Dungeon Accessories. Essential gear for clearing lies on. Luo Yushang walked to the furthest corner she could find and pretended not to know me. Apparently, the vice president of the top guild cannot be seen running a street stall. Fair enough. I laid out 4 accessories, 2 healing stones, 2 mana stones. The crowd immediately lost their minds. 1500 HP and active healing? That's insane. Mana stone triples a mage's output. A level 19 shield warrior ran up first. I held up 5 fingers. 50,000? He screamed happily. His teammate yanked him back. You can't even buy a silver accessory for 50,000. He means 500,000. The warrior's face collapsed. He left immediately. Healing stone, 500,000. Mana stone, 300,000, I announced. 15-minute sale price only. 99% of people walked away. But the ones with money moved fast. A level 20 mage in blue robes. I'll take a mana stone, 300,000. Done. Then a girl with a very impressive figure came running up. Mana stone for me too. Level 19 priest. I glanced briefly. Could probably heal an entire raid team by herself. Physically speaking, 2 mana stones sold in under 3 minutes. I thought to myself, mages and healers always have the most money. Physical classes are out here suffering financially. Life is unfair. A few minutes passed. I was starting to think the healing stones wouldn't sell when Assault Team Captain Zhao Xiong showed up, the guy I rescued from the frozen imprisonment earlier. I'll take one accessory, then a younger voice beside him. I want one too. The young guy beside Zhao Xiong paid up and then immediately stared me down with maximum teenage energy. I'm Lu Qingfeng, level 18 warrior. From Shanha City. Your nightmare clear time is 1 hour 15 minutes. I'll beat it within 3 days. I dug a finger in my ear waiting for him to finish. You done? You're blocking my business. He gave me one last intense look and walked into the dungeon with his crew. The crowd murmured that he was some rising star from Shanha City's top guild, surrounded by the best young talents from every major guild there. Here specifically to break dungeon records. Zhao Xiong quietly paid for his accessory, stood next to me, and thought about what he personally witnessed. Ali one-shotting the guard commander and sending Lizhan directly into Phase 3 with a single slash. He leaned close and whispered carefully. Lu Qingfeng is young and doesn't know what real power looks like. Please don't accidentally delete him. I looked at Zhao Xiong calmly. He immediately started sweating through his shirt. I would never tell you what to do. I just meant you could squash him like an ant. I'll personally ask Captain Liao Chen to keep these kids away from you. You're also in the enforcement squad? I asked, genuinely surprised. He explained he works both roles. I immediately wondered if I could join both organizations too. Obviously for the salary. Years of being broke makes a person creative about income streams. Speaking of income, new idea. I pulled out my phone and started writing a dungeon guide for Lizhan Dynasty Ruins. Monster stats, skills, boss mechanics, positioning tips, which phase needs burst damage, everything. Extremely detailed. More professional than actual professionals. Title: Complete Lizhan Speed Clear Guide. Free TO read. Very generous. Very public-spirited. I uploaded everything. Then I got to the final boss section. I wrote, the final boss Lizhan has 2 versions, easy mode and hard mode. Easy mode strategy. I stopped typing. Attached a locked file. Price to unlock, 500 yuan. The rest of the guide was completely free. I explained every single monster in the dungeon in perfect detail. Literally handheld players through every boss fight. Except the most important part that everyone actually needs. Luo Yushang watched this entire process from nearby. At first she was genuinely impressed, sharing dungeon knowledge freely, real leadership quality, great character. Then she watched me lock the final boss easy mode strategy behind a paywall. She stared at me for a long time. She couldn't decide if I had incredible character or absolutely zero character. The answer is both simultaneously. Luo Yushang crossed her arms and called me out immediately. The title says free. There's a paid attachment inside. That's not honest. With respect, I said, the post itself is free. Every player can read it. The attachment is a separate thing entirely. I wrote every single monster's stats, every boss skill, every positioning tip. The attachment is barely 1% of the total content. 500 yuan is basically symbolic. I did not mention that the 1% I locked away was the only part anyone actually needed. Luo Yushang stared at me for a long time trying to figure out if I was genius or shameless. Both. The answer is always both. She sighed and called Guild Master Lin Yuan to get the post pinned to the top of the forum. He looked at it, bought the attachment himself to verify, read it, and his internal reaction was reportedly, this little rat. But he pinned it and gave it the official, featured post label anyway. Because the guide was genuinely incredible and players deserved access. Within 10 minutes, every player between level 15 and 20 in Tianfeng City was completely silent reading my guide. The previously chaotic first floor went completely quiet. Pin drop silent. One warrior named Zhang Yang read the whole free guide, hesitated at the paid attachment, then thought, why would someone this detailed hide anything unless it was genuinely important? He bought it. Read it. Immediately told his teammates in a hushed voice, buy the attachment. Don't ask questions. Buy it now and let's go. They bought it. Read it. Same reaction from everyone. This is worth so much more than 500 yuan. They speed walked into the dungeon, trying to look casual. Captain Zhao Xiong bought the attachment the moment the post appeared. He personally watched me delete Lizhan and trusted me completely. His assault team entered on nightmare difficulty. Lu Qingfeng's crew entered without the guide. Faced full-power Lizhan. got completely destroyed, survived only because of the blessed resurrection trait. They stumbled back out bruised and embarrassed. Team Captain Lu Qingfeng trying to maintain dignity. We were unprepared. Tomorrow we come back. I've already learned Lieshan's attack patterns. We're Shanha City's elite. We cannot lose to a second-tier city's players. Then the announcement system started going off. Congratulations to Zhao Xiong and 24 others. Lieshan Ruins cleared on Nightmare difficulty. Time, 1 hour 58 minutes. Congratulations to Zhang Yang and 24 others. Lieshan Ruins cleared on Adventure difficulty. Time, 1 hour 59 minutes. Then another. And another. Multiple clears back to back. Lu Qingfeng stood there with his mouth open watching the notifications pile up. What? What is happening? How is everyone clearing this? The answer was 500 yuan and a very dishonest post title. Zhao Xiong's team walked out of the dungeon with their chests puffed up, platinum equipment freshly equipped, looking extremely pleased with themselves. Zheng'er, the guy who verbally destroyed Zhao Yang earlier, immediately started talking very loudly near Lu Qingfeng. That dungeon guide is absolutely incredible. Honestly, if you just follow the steps, basically anyone with a functioning brain can clear it, right? I don't know how anyone could fail with that guide available. Lu Qingfeng's eye twitched. Then Zhang Yang's ordinary team walked out too, also cleared, also grinning. Zhang Yang shook his head dramatically. Brothers, I feel like we let Lin Yuan down. We had the complete guide and still took 2 hours. He'd probably be disappointed. Lu Qingfeng pulled out his phone and searched for this guide. Sorry, you are not a registered Tianfeng City player. Access denied. Lin Yandong had locked the entire forum to outsiders. Lu Qingfeng stared at his screen, then threw his phone on the ground, then left. Quickly, with his entire team. No goodbye? They came in promising to break records. They left after a team wipe, while Tianfeng City locals cleared the dungeon continuously behind them. Meanwhile, I was sitting upstairs watching payment notifications roll in. Payment received. 500, payment received. 500, payment received. 500 every few seconds. For 2 hours straight, 12,000 players bought the attachment. I made 6 million yuan from a dungeon guide. From a guide titled, Free. Lin Yandong keeping the forum locked was actually smart. He wants Tianfeng City to build reputation first, attract players to move here, grow from second-tier city into something bigger. Using my dungeon as the anchor. Smart man. He invited me to his office to discuss joining the professional association officially. I sat across from him with my legs crossed. Luo Yushang beside me. Lin Yandong looking serious. Captain Liao Chun with bandages still wrapped around his head from earlier. I spoke first before he could begin his whole speech. Guildmaster Lin. I understand why you called me here. Joining the association isn't impossible in principle. Dramatic pause. But college entrance exams are in less than 2 months. I'm just an ordinary high school student with heavy academic responsibilities. Even if I wanted to join, I'm not sure I have the energy. All 3 of them rolled their eyes simultaneously. Ordinary high school student. The guy who solo cleared a nightmare regional dungeon this morning. The guy who deployed his summon as a paid combat instructor at school. The guy who made 6 million yuan selling a free guide. They all already knew about Ollie training the school students too. Apparently Ollie was genuinely excellent, identified every student's weakness, reorganized all the teams based on individual strengths, and improved their dungeon efficiency by 30%. The principal was overjoyed. Luo Yushang watched me perform my humble student act and thought, I cannot figure out if this person has incredible character or absolutely none. Probably both. Lin Yandong patiently began his prepared speech about how joining wouldn't interfere with studies. Practical experience complements academics. Learning through application. I held up one hand and stopped him. Guild Master, just tell me the monthly salary. Lin Yandong's prepared speech died instantly when I asked about salary. He stared at me for a second, then decided he respected it. 10 million per month. Just a name on the roster. No required attendance. If another regional dungeon situation happens, minimum 50 million per incident. I stood up and shook his hand immediately. Deal. Guildmaster Lin, you're truly a man who gets things done. Tianfeng City is lucky to have you. Lin Yandong laughed loudly and told me to call him Brother Lin from now on. Then offered me unlimited swans whenever I wanted. Yesterday, he was heartbroken about losing 2 swans to my skeleton. Today, he's offering an unlimited swan supply. Money changes everything. Then Lin Yuan mentioned the upcoming college entrance exam and said I shouldn't bother accepting the SS rank student recruitment offer from earlier. At my growth rate, I'd have already completed my class advancement before the exam even started. Actually, he said, smiling, SSS rank student treatment is honestly below your level 2. I have a suggestion. Go on, I said. Become a professor at Capital University instead. I stopped. Thought about it. All those self-proclaimed geniuses taking the exam, sweating over their scores, desperately hoping Capital University accepts them, and I walk in as their teacher, responsible for admissions, grading them. Ha 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 ha. I laughed genuinely loud. Guildmaster, that is an excellent suggestion. I love it. Lin Yuan laughed just as loud. For anyone else, it would be a ridiculous dream. For you, it's simply accurate timing. Captain Liao Chen sat nearby with his bandaged head, listening to all of this with complicated feelings. Capital University students fight for spots their entire lives. This teenager is skipping straight to faculty. While Liao Chen was staring into the middle distance processing this, I turned to him. Captain Liao, I personally eliminated a Dark Knight spy in the dungeon earlier. Does the enforcement squad have a good citizen award? Cash prize acceptable. 1 or 2 million is fine. Done with the association. Time to invoice the enforcement squad. Liao Chen blinked. You're already making 10 million a month, and you want a good citizen bonus. Captain, you don't understand. I sighed deeply. Starting from nothing, raising 2 summons. Do you know how expensive that is? I have to split every coin in half. You sold 30 million worth of equipment this morning, Liao Chen said flatly. 12,000 people bought your guide attachment. That's another 6 million minimum. Plus your first month's salary just transferred. You're sitting on 50 million easily. I sighed again. Captain, building wealth is easy. Keeping wealth is hard. After years of poverty, anything under 100 million feels unstable. Lin Yuan. Luo Yushang. Liao Chen. Eventually, Liao Chen figured out what I was actually asking. You want to join the enforcement squad too? What are the benefits? 3 million monthly. Full insurance package. Dangerous missions, but better rewards the more dangerous they are. Dangerous. I thought about that for half a second. I physically cannot die as long as my undead army exists. Danger is not something I experience. I reached out and shook his hand warmly. The pay doesn't matter. I mainly just want to contribute to Tianfeng City. Walking home, Luo Yushang asked why I actually joined the enforcement squad. She knew I hate unnecessary work. Do you think I'm a genius? I asked. She sighed. Yes, an exceptional one, right. So enemy nations and Dark Knight's lunatics will definitely try to kill me eventually. They obviously can't succeed, but I can kill them. Then I bring their heads to the enforcement squad and collect mission rewards for things that were going to happen anyway. I paused. Also, if anyone gets in my face, I now have official authority to smack them. Luo Yushang's expression confirmed she knew immediately that the second reason was the real one. She explained the Blood Ring Arena. Location changes every time, probably appearing near Shanhe City this round. All participants will be fully class-advanced professionals, each with at least 1 S-rank skill. Very different from Lu Qingfeng types. Do I have to fight the other participants? I asked. What if I accidentally kill everyone? You fight arena gladiators only, she said. Though dueling other participants is optional. Losers survive at 1 HP and can't be touched until fully healed. Good system. Very considerate of the arena designers. Back at the compound, I spotted Ague fishing quietly by the lake, Mu Tianxing lying nearby, both completely silent. I scratched my head. Ague wasn't doing his signature cackle. Strange. Whatever. Fishing beats haunting the house at night. The moment I walked away, Mu Tianxing's head popped up like a meerkat checking for predators. He's gone. Let's continue, little skeleton, hand on Ague's shoulder. Energy transfer. 21%, 36%, 95%. Mu Tianxing pulled away at 95%. Only 2% curse energy remaining. He looked at his hands. Looked at his reflection somewhere. 36 years old again. Handsome, calm, completely recovered. 90% of my power restored, he said quietly. Luo Yushang showing up here means the Dark Knights know I'm in this city. Wonder who they'll send next. He smiled at Ague. Last bit of curse energy in 2 days, little skeleton. Agaway pointed at his fishing rod meaningfully. Diamond tier fishing rod. Tomorrow. Guaranteed. Agaway gave a thumbs up. Energy and premium fishing equipment. Excellent arrangement. Then a notification appeared above Agaway's skull. You have mastered basic fishing. Agaway waved his arms around, cackling with pure joy. Basic fishing mastered. Fishing grandmaster incoming. Nobody can stop this skeleton's journey. Next morning before sunrise, Ollie left the villa early for extra training sessions with the school students. He decided that if he's going to be an instructor, he's going to be the best instructor possible. Anything less would embarrass Lin Yuan. Sun Tzu spotted Ollie at the gate and jogged over. Ollie immediately said, after your possession technique ends, there's a 0.5-second gap. An enemy with fast reactions would kill you there, Sun Tzu thought internally. You think everyone has your inhuman reflexes? 0.5 seconds is my maximum possible. He said out loud. Thank you for the guidance. How do I improve? Simple, Ollie said without expression. Get hit more. Sun Tzu's face fell. He trudged behind Ollie towards school like a man walking to his own execution. At the school field, every student was already standing in perfect formation, because yesterday Ollie proved he was an excellent and completely merciless instructor, and nobody wanted to find out what happened to latecomers. Ollie stood before them nearly 2 meters tall in silver chainmail, radiating pure dark clan battle pressure that made the students struggle to breathe normally. Good. Nobody late. Training continues. He pointed at one student. Step forward. She did. Your talent is excellent. Your execution is terrible. Your charge up takes over 1 second. Any boss with decent reflexes dodges it completely. Now. Attack me. She charged. Ollie moved slightly. Attack missed completely. Too slow. Wind up is too obvious. Skill has too much startup delay. Extra training. The student's soul left her body briefly. I woke up at 10 a.m. after watching short videos until 3 a.m. No regrets. Luo Yushang was meditating outside with her sword, sensing sword intent or whatever. When she opened her eyes, there was a flash of pure power that made her look less like a person and more like a snow lotus blooming. One blooming flower. Absolutely accurate nickname. I started wondering what my nickname should be. Didn't get far before her phone rang. Blood Ring Arena appeared. Mu Tianxing was right. It's at the Ogre Ruins. She tossed her jet model into the sky. It expanded into a full passenger plane, and we were gone. The Ogre Ruins were 300 kilometers away and normally completely empty. Terrible dungeon, boring loot. Nobody goes there. Today it had 3,000 players minimum. 80% of them level 25, all elite representatives from major guilds across the entire southeast province. I spotted guild masters Lin Yandong and Chui Xianglong immediately. You're here early, I said. Lin Yandong was here as the hosting city representative. Chui Xianglong was just there to watch. He explained the arena rules. Beat any gladiator inside. Everyone in your team gets a gold tier item. But if you PRA declare victories before starting, 3 wins. Complete 5-piece gold set for everyone. For wins, platinum equipment. 5 wins, 5-piece platinum set. Miss your declared target, and you get nothing at all. Has anyone ever won 5 matches? I asked. Nobody has ever done it, Luo Yushang said. Nobody even knows how many gladiators there are total. Mysterious. I liked it immediately. Meanwhile, elsewhere, the Dawn Sword Guild vice president was briefing his teams before departure. His main team was level 25, led by a mage with S-rank spell damage talent, basically built perfectly for this arena's level cap. His instructions included, do not lose to Flashlight Guild. Any guild can beat us except them. Then he added very seriously, if you encounter a summoner named Lin Yuan, treat him exactly like you'd treat our own guild master. Anyone who can't control their mouth around him is no longer welcome in Dawn Sword Guild. Apparently word had spread everywhere. The dungeon portal at the entrance slowly changed color, blue to red. It's here. Blood Ring Arena. A green goblin in a tiny suit strutted out of the portal doing a little walk. Welcome everyone to the Blood Ring Arena. I'm your host Ihao. The arena materialized from a ghost image into a completely solid structure and slammed down onto the ground, completely flattening the Ogre Ruins underneath it. Half the crowd freaked out thinking a dungeon had broken its dimensional barriers and entered the real world. It's not a barrier break, Luo Yushang said calmly. Someone temporarily moved the arena from its pocket dimension to the real world. When time's up, it goes back. I watch the massive Colosseum sitting on the flattened ruins. 3,000 players staring at it. A goblin in a suit. Gladiators nobody has ever fully defeated waiting inside. I was already thinking about how many evolution points the bosses would drop. Luo Yushang suggested that powerful beings might be watching our battles for entertainment. I immediately said, then I'd better perform well. Maybe some powerful senior sees me and adopts me as a son-in-law. Save myself 10,000 years of effort. Luo Yushang stared at me with absolutely no idea how to respond. Most people see evidence of beings more powerful than themselves and feel humbled. I see a potential shortcut to retirement. A green goblin named Daihao strutted out of the arena doors holding a microphone, doing a little walk like he owned the place. Guards opened the massive gates. A dozen fully armored ogres marched out as security. Minimum level 50. All elite tier. The crowd went quiet immediately. Ticket prices, 1 million per challenger. 200,000 for observer seats. People complained about the price. An ogre guard took one step forward. Everyone immediately stopped complaining and paid. Only nightmare difficulty available. No other options. A significant portion of players looked at that and quietly decided to buy observer seats instead. I paid my million. Winced slightly. Made a silent promise to myself. I spent 1 million to get in here. I am leaving with something worth more than 1 million. Non-negotiable. Walking to the waiting area, I did quick math. About 1,800 challengers entered. That's 1.8 billion in ticket sales. Add observer seats, at least 2 billion total revenue. From one morning. I'm in the wrong business. 10 minutes later, doors closed. Daihao floated up on a rising platform in the center. 2 modes explained. Challenge mode. Fight gladiators with death protection. Win gold equipment. Death match mode. Fight ace gladiators. Actual death possible, but rewards are diamond tier equipment. The strong are forged in blood and fire. Could you be the next great warrior? One impulsive kid immediately stood up and yelled, "Death match. Let's go." His vice guild master smacked him on the head immediately. Sit down before you get everyone killed. My number was 324. Very far back in the order. I was completely fine with this. Going first means ending the whole show for everyone else. We all paid to be here. That would be rude. If the other players knew that was my reasoning, they would have said, "You're surprisingly considerate." They would not have meant it as a compliment. Number 1 was the Dawn Sword Guild's main team. Captain Zhao Feng with his level 25 squad, S-rank spell damage talent ready. Challenge mode, he said. The west gate opened. A 3-meter ogre walked out carrying a spiked club. Ogre warrior. Level 27. 900,000 HP, 12,000 attack. The crowd erupted. 900,000 HP, 12,000 attack? That's stronger than nightmare dungeon bosses. And this is just the regular gladiator. Not even the ace fighters. Everyone recalculated their life choices simultaneously. I recalculated how many evolution points this thing would drop. Very productive use of everyone's time. The first team, Zhao Feng's crew from Dawn Sword Guild, actually performed well. 3 wins in a row using his S-rank fire paralysis skill. Every near-combat boss just stood there twitching while they attacked freely. Honestly, watching it was like watching someone use a calculator to solve 1-1. Technically correct. Painfully slow. I spent most of it watching with one thought. Weak. Not weak as an insult. Just weak compared to what I've seen. Aliens fights in 2 hits. These guys took 3 minutes per round. I've been spoiled. Coming out of the arena, a guy with a lollipop in his mouth immediately blocked their exit. That's it. 3 wins, and you quit? Is this what Tianfeng City players are like? Never seen gold equipment before. Didn't even make eye contact while insulting them. Very committed to the bit. This was Zheng Xiaolong from Flashlight Guild, Shana City's most obnoxious representative. Zhao Feng fired back. Voices raised. The Dawn Sword vice president had to physically intervene before it became a brawl. Lin Yuan explained the bigger picture quietly while the drama unfolded. Flashlight Guild wasn't just here to be annoying. Shana City's professional association, under new director Zheng Yaodong, had been making moves to absorb Tianfeng City into their jurisdiction for over a year. Last year, they tried officially through the government. Military Commander Meng Zhan blocked it personally. So now they're trying indirectly. Send Flashlight Guild to provoke conflicts, Steel Dungeon first clears. Irritate Tianfeng City guilds into fighting back. Then Shanha City uses the conflict as justification to declare a city challenge match. And if they win, Tianfeng City becomes Tianfeng County. Luo Yushang listened to all of this, picked up her phone, and called Shanha City's mayor directly. This is Luo Yushang, current mayor of Tianfeng City. I hear Shanha City is planning a city challenge match against us. Brief pause. No? Good. If there was one, though, I'd welcome the opportunity to meet personally. She hung up. While I'm here, Tianfeng City stands. Shanha City's mayor immediately called Zheng Yaodong after hanging up. Stop everything related to Tianfeng City. Cancel the challenge match preparations. Now, Zheng Yaodong protested. The plan was nearly half complete. Do you want to fight Luo Yushang personally? The mayor asked. Because I don't. Tell Flashlight Guild to calm down immediately. Zheng Yaodong left the office alone, confused about why Luo Yushang would become mayor of a second-tier city. Then it clicked. Mu Tianxing is in Tianfeng City. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a black skull-marked communication talisman. Wrote the information down. It burned away instantly. His eyes went cold. If Mu Tianxing dies, the Lich will be reborn using his body. Tianfeng City would be completely destroyed, and the ancient sealed ruins would descend on the real world again. He said it like it was good news. Meanwhile, I was sitting in the arena watching match number 2 and wondering how many more matches until it was my turn. 324 is a very high number. Flashlight Guild's team was genuinely skilled. Cleared the first 3 rounds in under 3 minutes each. 4th round nearly broke them. Lost 2 members to a troll hunter with a bear companion, but scraped through for 4 consecutive wins. Walking out, Zheng Xiaolong looked directly at Tianfeng City's players, raised his thumb, then slowly flipped it upside down. The Tianfeng City players silently fumed. Nobody had an answer. 4 wins is 4 wins. I was wearing earphones watching short videos and did not notice any of this. Chui Xianglong tapped my shoulder. I pulled one earbud out. Flashlight Guild got 4 consecutive wins, currently the highest in the whole event. If nobody beats them, they get MVP on Tianfeng City's home turf. So, I put the earbud back in. Okay then, nobody else managed 4 wins after that. Then, number 324, please enter. No response. 324? Does team 324 forfeit? A spotlight fell on me. I looked up from my phone, saw my number vibrating, put my earphones away, and stood up. Just me. No teammates. Daihao the goblin blinked. One person? Where's your team? I don't have one, I said, stretching my neck. Zheng Xiaolong from his seat. Tianfeng City people always this desperate for attention? You just threw away 1,000,000 coins. That's several silver equipment pieces gone for nothing. His teammates piled on immediately. Level 18 summoner. How do you have the confidence to stand here? You're making your whole city look foolish. Your family worked hard for that 1,000,000. Then everyone heard it. Cackle, cackle, cackle. Cold ran down every spine simultaneously. Like something genuinely terrifying had arrived. Agaway materialized behind me. One casual wave of his hand. Boom. A white bone throne appeared floating in the air above the arena. Then bone walls started rising from the ground, forming a staircase upward. I walked up. Each step created another bone stair beneath my foot. 23 steps total, each one appearing right as I needed it. A glowing white staircase rising into the sky toward the floating throne. I sat down, snapped my fingers. Ali and Agaway appeared below me. I leaned forward slightly and looked down at Daihao. Begin. Daihao stood there with his mouth open for 3 full seconds. 3,000 players in the arena. Complete silence. Every single person frozen. Zheng Xiaolong's lollipop fell out of his mouth and landed on his own shirt. He didn't notice. He was drooling slightly. Luo Yushang in the observer section thought. What I asked that? That actually kind of impressive. Daihao recovered and announced. Let's welcome challenger 324, who will face our gladiators. Alone. We wish him luck. Wait, I said. When did I say challenge mode? Daihao tilted his head. Give me death match. Dead silence. Then chaos. He chose death match? Why would anyone do that? He doesn't have to die today. He could just go home. Lin Yuan immediately turned to Luo Yushang in a panic. Stop him. He cannot choose death match. Luo Yushang watched me sitting on my floating bone thrown 20 meters in the air, completely calm, and quietly said, that I don't think he needs our concern. Luo Yushang shook her head. It's too late. His opponent is already coming out. Dai Hao recovered quickly, grabbed his microphone, and went full hype mode. A true warrior stands before us. One who places life and death aside. Whatever happens next, he has already proven himself worthy of greatness. Then the east gate opened. A 5-meter-tall, two-headed ogre walked out. Ace Gladiator, Gal. Tier 4 Commander. Level 27. 2 million HP. AoE Lightning Storm. Spell interrupts. Slowing Ice. Self-buffing Berserk Mode. The crowd immediately started calculating how fast I would die. Physical attack of 15,000 on a magic boss. Group damage and interrupts and slowing and speed boost. How is anyone supposed to fight that? I tilted my head. Ollie crossed his arms, bent his knees slightly, then jumped, landing directly in front of the two-headed ogre. Then he threw his shield on the ground. Why did he drop his shield? Someone in the crowd yelled. Does he want to die faster? Begin, I told Dai Hao. Dai Hao rolled his eyes at my impatience, raised his microphone. Fight. Gal immediately activated Berserk Mode, grew to 7 meters tall, and started charging his Lightning Storm spell. Blue light gathering on both hands. 2.5 second cast time. Ollie was standing directly in front of him. Gal kept casting. Heroic charge. Ollie became a blur. Diamond sword dragging behind him, leaving a long afterimage. Closed the gap instantly. Gal stunned for 2 seconds. One flash. Minus 672,680 critical hit. White light through the chest. Ollie teleported behind. Second slash. Minus 551,340 critical hit. 3 combo sweep. Horizontal slash. Execution strike. Minus 232,480. Minus 249,870. Minus 124,150. Minus 95,890. Minus 200,000. The lightning spell dissipated. The light left Gal's eyes. 2 million HP, Ace Gladiator. Dead before the 2-second stun even expired. Ollie pulled his sword out, stabbed it in the ground, and produced his violin. Began playing a farewell melody. Alone. In the center of the arena. Completely unbothered. 3,000 players in the stands. Complete silence. Zheng Xiaolong sat with his legs frozen mid-cross, mouth wide open, eyes like coins. The ogre mage is dead. The ogre mage is dead, he asked, and answered himself. His face went completely white. His teammates looked like they wanted to find a hole in the ground and disappear into it. Dai Hao stared at Ollie from his platform with suddenly very hungry eyes. I smell a powerful soul. I looked at the kill result and was honestly slightly unsatisfied. Ollie barely hit the threshold. Without those 2 critical hits, it might not have been a one-shot. I pulled up the system interface. The ogre mage is dead. Can I get 5,000 evolution points in advance? Evolution points are calculated after dungeon completion. Rules are flexible, I said patiently. Give me 5,000 now. I evolve Ollie. Ollie kills things faster. I earn more evolution points total. It's literally better for both of us. Also, the 5,000 is already mine. I'm just collecting early. Nothing unreasonable about that. If you won't do this, go find someone else to be your summoner. Ogre mage killed. Evolution points 5,000. Perfect, I said. Let's make this the standard going forward. 1 boss killed, 1 payout. Stop waiting for final tallies. Very inefficient. Dai Hao announced the result with barely concealed shock. A truly unforgettable battle. Ace Gladiator Gal has been defeated by an 18-year-old human summoner. Continue or take your diamond equipment. Continue, I said immediately. Came all the way here, paid $1 million entry fee. I'm not leaving until this arena is completely cleared out. Dai Hao smiled in a way that suggested he thought he was being clever. He set my required win streak to the maximum, 5 consecutive wins. Rewards for 5 wins, 1 epic tier equipment, and 1 SS rank universal skill book. The observer stands exploded. Epic tier? I've never seen one in my life. SS rank skill usable by any class? Lin Yandong's face went pale again just as it had started to relax. Luo Yushang narrowed her eyes and analyzed the situation calmly. Ollie has incredible burst damage but limited sustained output. The smart play is sending a gladiator with strong defensive skills to absorb the first wave. If Ollie's opener gets blocked, he's half useless. She started calculating whether she could physically drag me out of the arena. Then the arena raised a level 80 protective barrier around itself. Luo Yushang immediately stopped calculating. A level 80 barrier. Every player on the planet combined couldn't break it. I raised an eyebrow at the barrier. Interesting. Setting a trap? Going to disappoint you, because Daihao setting 5 wins as the target was exactly what I wanted. 5 bosses. 5 evolution point payouts. Enough experience to hit level 20. Plus epic equipment and an SS rank skill book. Daihao thought he was trapping me. He was gifting me everything I needed. Spend 50,000 evolution points. Evolve Ollie. Blood-colored energy swirled around Ollie mid-violin performance. I sent him to the summoning space before the transformation drew too much attention. A blood cocoon formed. Silver light burst outward. Ollie emerged in crimson armor with sharp, curved horns, blood-red eyes, completely expressionless. Tier 5, Blood Shadow Sword Guard. All stats doubled. 2 new S-rank skills acquired. One that temporarily boosts max HP by 50% and heals for the same amount. Another that guarantees perfect parry for 8 seconds with an automatic counterattack. Ollie can now literally stand still and absorb boss attacks without dying. I was very pleased. Daihao stared at the returned Ollie and went very quiet. 5. Tier Warrior. His confident expression collapsed completely. A Tier 4 Ollie had one-shot a boss 9 levels higher than himself. Tier 5 Ollie with doubled stats was a completely different category of problem. Daihao made a phone call upstairs to whoever runs this place. I need Samuro for the final round. He got approval. His face lit up immediately. Samuro, Tier 5 Bloodline. Ogre Orc Hybrid. Sword Saint of the Flame Blade Clan. Glory Ranked Gladiator. The strongest card in the deck. Daihao looked down at me smiling on my throne. Laugh while you can, he muttered. The harder you laugh now, the harder you'll cry later. I kept smiling. He had no idea I was doing math on how many evolution points Samuro would drop. I rested my head on my arm and looked at Daihao. Begin. Don't waste my time. Daihao smiled through visible irritation and announced the next gladiator. Mugri the Hill Gorin. 10 meters tall. Level 28. 2,400,000 HP. Defense 16,000. 30% magic resistance. Skills. Earth armor that boosts defense by 50%, giant rock throws, ground tremor that slows and eventually petrifies targets, and a last resort defensive stance at 30% HP that reduces all damage by 80% while regenerating health. Luo Yushang's expression went serious immediately. This is exactly what I was afraid of. A high defense tank type. With Ollie's burst damage countered, she didn't know Ollie had just evolved. Nobody in the stance did. They just thought his armor looked slightly darker. Because summoned creatures don't just randomly evolve mid-fight, so nobody even considered it. Agaway looked around the arena and decided something was missing. Crowd noise. He summoned 2,000 undead as a temporary audience. They immediately started banging their weapons together and screaming their horrible cackle while cheering for Ollie. The Blood Ring Arena became a death arena in approximately 15 seconds. Daihao's eyes lit up for completely different reasons. He started thinking about how valuable an undead summoner's soul would be to his master. The crowd debated whether I had any chance. Half said slim. Half said none. Ollie charged at the 10-meter giant. It looked like a fly attacking a mountain. Mugri activated earth armor immediately when stunned. Couldn't stop the stun, but could at least protect himself from a one-shot. Against the old Tier 4 Ollie, that would have worked. Against Tier 5 Blood Shadow Sword Guard Ollie with doubled stats. Minus 844,568 critical hit. Minus 714,280 critical hit. Daihao whispered. It's over, immediately upon seeing those numbers. Ollie followed up with Sweeping Slash and 3 combo. Mugri's HP dropped below 30%, triggering his final defensive skill. 80% damage reduction, health regeneration, can't act. Ollie stopped attacking. Stood there watching Mugri regenerate. Waited patiently for 8 seconds. The skill ended. Mugri stood back up roaring. Little one. Mugri will tear you apart. Ground tremor activated. 2,000 magic damage per second. Stacking slows. Petrification incoming after 5 seconds. Ollie didn't move. He stood in the tremor deliberately, waiting an extra 2 seconds for Mugri's earth armor cooldown to fully expire. Then, Unyielding will activate it. Control immunity for 5 seconds. No more petrification risk. Then Ollie looked at Mugri the way a person looks at a math problem they've already solved. Ollie's 3-combo skill quietly upgraded to consecutive flash, a rank, 4 rapid strikes at 180% attack damage each. The arena was about to see what, completely outclassed in your own specialty, looks like. Ollie waited patiently for Mugri's defensive stance to end. 8 seconds. Just stood there while the giant regenerated health and roared threats. Defensive stance expired. Consecutive flash. 4 rapid slashes in sequence. The sword moving so fast, it looked like Ollie was barely trying. Minus 384,480. Minus 397,584. Minus 376,527. Minus 394,890. Mugri's HP dropped to 6%. Ollie raised one hand. Execution strike. Minus 240,000. Sword away. Turn around. Walk back to the violin. Mugri collapsed behind him. Ollie didn't look. He picked up the violin and played a new song. The theme was essentially, being undefeatable is so lonely. Agawe's 2,000 undead erupted into absolute chaos cheering. The death arena atmosphere intensified significantly. The human audience was silent for about 3 seconds, then also exploded. That was the unbreakable defense specialist. And he just died like nothing. Lin Yuan pinched his own leg hard to confirm he was awake. Luo Yushang stared at Ollie carefully. 5 tier, she said quietly. Tier 5 battle general class. Only that bloodline can delete a tier 4 commander boss like it's casual. She was actually being conservative. Below level 40, there isn't a single player who could challenge Lin Yuan right now. His stat gains per level are 8 times higher than normal players. By level 20 the gap becomes even more extreme. Daihao stood on his platform looking increasingly desperate. Even the defense specialist Gorin clan couldn't survive. Who could possibly stop this? Then he remembered. The arena's basement had a dragon beast with dragon bloodline. Infected by demonic energy, currently it's pseudo, tier, 5 power levels. Perfect. Send it out. If it loses, Samuro handles cleanup anyway. And if it dies, the demonic energy explosion might cause Ollie to go berserk and attack me instead. 2 birds. 1 stone. Genius plan. Daihao smiled his fake smile and started announcing dramatically. I waved my hand at him. Skip the speech. Just send them in. Daihao's smile twitched. He pointed at the east gate. Chains snapped. A deep roar shook the arena. Something crashed through the east gate entirely rather than waiting for it to open. Flame Drake Scar. Level 29. 2,800,000 HP. Attack 26,000. Skills included a fear roar affecting 50-meter range, tail sweep, claw strikes that reduce defense, a fire breath dealing 50,000 magic damage in a straight line, and a permanent berserk state from demonic corruption doubling attack and speed while immune to all debuffs. The entire arena went silent. A dragon? They have a dragon. Everyone knows what dragons mean. 1 dragon can flatten a city. I looked at it, tilted my head. That's it? I thought it was a pure-blooded dragon. It's just a mixed blood drake. The flame drake technically has dragon in its name, but is only distantly related to true dragons. Probably activated a tiny fragment of dragon bloodline somewhere in its ancestry and gained fire powers. For any normal player, this would be an impossible wall. For me, it was the 3rd gladiator in a row. The drake didn't wait for Daihao to announce the start. The moment it entered the arena, its blood-red vertical pupils locked directly onto Ollie. Ollie looked back. Neither of them moved for exactly 1 second. The drake roared and immediately fired its opening move, a massive flame breath straight at Ollie. Ollie carefully put his violin away first, then dodged. The drake's tail sweep hit Ollie during his charge. 8,000 damage. Didn't move him an inch. Heroic Charge's unstoppable body absorbed it completely. The drake's fear roar triggered. Ollie briefly entered fear status. Unyielding will. Instant removal. 1 flash. Ollie became a silver streak, appeared behind the drake. Minus 1,532,000 critical hit. Drake turned around slowly with its massive body. Ollie flashed back to original position. Minus 1,299,600 critical hit. 2,831,600 total damage. 1 skill. Drake dead. The crowd watched in complete silence as a level 29 flame dragon died in approximately 4 seconds. Then the drake's body dissolved and released a massive cloud of pure demonic energy that poured directly into Ali's body through his mouth and nose. Ali stood completely still. Eyes turned blood red. Absorbed pure demonic energy. Racial skill Dark Demon unlocked. Dark Demon. Transform into the Dark Clan's true demon form for 10 seconds. All stats doubled. Movement speed doubled. Lifesteal increased 50%. Cooldown 2 hours. I stared at the skill description for a moment. Dark Demon. This skill is incredible. Ali's burst damage was already absurd. With Dark Demon active, the numbers become genuinely unreasonable. I laughed out loud. Loudly. Daihao heard me laughing and thought internally, enjoy it while it lasts. The demonic energy corrupts any living thing's mind. Even the drake with its powerful life force eventually lost itself to the madness. A summoned creature absorbing that much should go berserk within a minute. 1 minute passed. Ali stood still, not moving, completely calm. Daihao waited, confused. 2 minutes. Nothing. I called out impatiently. Are you going to start the next round or not? Stop wasting my time. Daihao stood there genuinely puzzled. Normal beings go feral from even trace amounts of demonic energy. Ali absorbed a full dragon's worth and was apparently fine. Very strange. Extremely concerning. He announced the next gladiator anyway. A shadow slipped into the arena before he finished the introduction. Dark Elf Assassin Dory. Level 30. Stealth. Guaranteed crit on first strike from hiding. 30,000 damage backstab. Shadow step that teleports directly behind targets. And a death dance that chains 10 random hits after killing someone. This was the counterplay. Can't beat the summon? Go around it. Target the summoner directly. A level 19 summoner with average gear has maybe 10,000 HP max. One normal attack ends it. The dark elf went invisible and crept slowly toward me. Ali sensed an enemy nearby but couldn't locate the exact position. I watched the empty arena with a slight smile. This one can go invisible. Can't beat my summon, so it's targeting me instead. I was not worried. I was also not going to explain why yet. The dark elf assassin crept carefully through my 10,000 undead soldiers, thinking numbers don't matter when you have skill. She had a point. She'd killed countless spellcasters before. Level 19 summoner with maybe 10,000 HP, one backstab ends it. She shadow stepped directly behind me. Backstab. Minus 57,000 critical hit. My shield absorbed some. The rest hit me directly. 57,000 damage on a target with 26,000 HP. I sat completely unmoved on my throne, tilted my head sideways, and looked at her. That's it? The assassin froze for half a second in pure confusion. I expected someone impressive. You're disappointing. She went from confused to furious immediately. Activated Death Dance. 10 rapid strikes in sequence, blades flashing everywhere. 10 of my skeleton soldiers collapsed. I stood up completely fine. I reached out and grabbed her by the head with my bare hand. Iron grip. 2-second stun on any target. I pulled her face to face with me, laughing. You thought you could kill me? Ha 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 ha. She dangled there, unable to move, eyes completely disbelieving. She was genuinely asking with her expression, why won't you die? Wanna know? I'm not telling you. You don't deserve to know. I tossed her off the throne. She flipped midair, landed perfectly on her feet. Impressive athleticism, honestly. Turned around. Ali was already standing directly behind her. Minus 1,857,600 critical hit. Done. Outside, everyone debated why I survived 57,000 damage on a 26,000 HP character. Lin Yuan noticed the skeleton soldiers dying at the exact moment I was attacked, and correctly deduced I have damage transfer, redirecting hits to my undead army instead. Brilliant passive protection, he said. Only question is the cooldown. Luo Yushang nodded, and said after I get the 5-win rewards she'd recommend I pick an SS rank survival skill. Ali handles all the damage. I just need to stay alive long enough for him to do it. Level 20 hit. Third summon slot unlocked. Normally that requires class advancement first. The system message clarified. Divine Summoner System gives one summon slot every 10 levels automatically. I was about to check the epic reward when a golden portal opened in the sky above the arena. Through it, a pair of eyes filled with starlight. Blood, Lord Valrana. Level. Unknown entity. Lots of question marks. Definitely dangerous. Those eyes spotted me and immediately showed genuine interest. A hand reached toward the portal. The portal started cracking and squealing like it was about to shatter from the strain. The hand pulled back. The eyes sighed. I exhaled slowly. The arena owner trying to reach through dimensions to grab me personally. That's new and slightly alarming. Was he trying to refuse paying the rewards? That's incredibly petty for an ancient being of unknown power. I was still processing this when a figure came shooting out of the portal like a falling meteor and slammed into the center of the arena. Flame Blade Sword Saint, Samuro. Tier 5 Battle General. The final gladiator had arrived. Flame Blade Sword Saint Samuro. Tier 5 Battle General. Level 32. 5 million HP. Skills including stealth with a 50,000 bonus hit on reveal, for mirror clones, a 3-hit stun combo, a 5-second spin attack that's magic immune, and the scary one, Invincible Slash. 18 consecutive strikes with 50% increased crit rate. 1,340 battles. 0 losses. Given the honorary title of Glory by the arena. The crowd went dead silent when his stats appeared, then immediately started screaming at Daihao. Black Curtain Operation. Shameless. Sending a level 32 Glory Gladiator against an unadvanced summoner? You're cheating. Daihao smiled warmly through the insults and announced the battle start like nothing was happening. Even Luo Yushang looked worried for the first time all day. This might actually be a loss. Invincible Slash alone could overwhelm even a tier 5 summon. I sat on my throne watching the arena and thought, if Samuro is smart, he goes straight for my back with Invincible Slash while invisible. Instant win. But Samuro has a pride problem. He won't do the smart thing. He'll perform first. Performing in front of Ollie is a mistake. Samuro vanished using Swift Step. Ollie waited. Before Ollie and Samuro could even talk to each other properly, Ollie had said one thing. The Flameblade clan has really fallen. Even half-breed mongrels can become sword saints now. Samuro, whose lifelong greatest rage trigger is being called a mongrel, immediately promised to cut both Ollie and me into 10,000 pieces. He's a sword saint, so he kept his composure. But his sword was literally on fire from emotion. Battle started. Samuro reappeared behind Ollie, minus 64,328. Ollie spun and swept. Samuro used mirror image. 4 identical clones surrounded Ollie instantly. Ollie jumped back without trying to identify the real one. One flash. Silver Streak cut through all 5 bodies simultaneously. Minus 561,600. Minus 1,684,800. Minus 1,713,457. Minus 1,679,645. Minus 1,658,933. The clones with 300% extra damage taken exploded. The real Samuro took the hit directly. Ollie looked at the one still standing. Found you. Samuro charged Ollie with his signature move, Blade Storm. 5 seconds of spinning magic immune damage. Ollie's HP dropped to half instantly. Samuro canceled it early, raised his sword, eyes burning with absolute confidence. Invincible Slash. 18 consecutive strikes. 50% increased crit rate. The move that ended 1,340 fights without a single loss. Ollie raised his two-handed sword slowly above his head. Said one thing. Listen. To silence and extinction. Dark demon wings erupted from his back. Blood red. Massive. Blocking out the light from above. Ollie floated upward, eyes looking down at Samuro with complete contempt. Trash. Come. Fight me. Samuro felt actual fear for the first time in his life. Then got angry at himself for feeling it. Gripped his sword. Activated Invincible Slash anyway because sword saints don't back down. Sword in hand active. A ring of blood-red sword blades surrounded Ollie, blocking every strike from the front. All 18 Invincible Slash hits deflected. 0 damage. 900,000 reflected damage back at Samuro instead. Impossible. My Invincible Slash was blocked. Samuro immediately got smart. Can't beat this form. Retreat. Wait for transformation to end. He activated his clones to cover his escape. Rapid step cooldown. 3 seconds remaining. Ollie looked at him. Trash. Why won't you fight? 1 flash, 2 stage. Minus 3,012,000 critical hit on Samuro. minus 9,065,000 critical hit on clones. Clones exploded like bubbles. Samuro stopped moving. Ollie was standing directly in front of him. 555,000 HP remaining. 2 seconds until escape skill. Against any level 25 team in existence, surviving 2 seconds with 555,000 HP would be simple. Against Dark Demon Ollie with 60,000 attack power, consecutive flash. For strikes, minus 813,492, minus 813,679, minus 809,763, minus 812,458. Samuro died owing Ollie 2,700,000 extra HP. Ollie raised his sword above his head silently after. Said nothing, but said everything. Notifications flooded in simultaneously. 45,000 EXP, 50,000 evolution points. Arena cleared. Perfect clear bonus. Arena installation crystal obtained. Hide your name? No. Congratulations to Lin Yuan for perfect clearing the Blood Ring Arena on Nightmare difficulty. Death match mode. Let US celebrate. 3 times. Full broadcast. Everyone heard it. The crowd went absolutely wild. Players from other cities who didn't know me immediately started asking who Lin Yuan was. Tianfeng City players listed everything. Solo cleared Nightmare beginner dungeon. Instant killed the Nightmare certification robot. Solo cleared Nightmare regional dungeon. And now Solo perfect cleared Nightmare Blood Ring Arena in deathmatch mode. 1 person. All of these. No team. No support. Tianfeng City is going to rise. Another legendary monster has appeared in the country. He's going to break the record of summoners being unable to advance class. Watch. Daihao stood on his platform staring blankly into nothing. He'd just noticed his connection to the Blood Lord had been severed. Then the entire arena compressed into a stream of light and flew into my hand. Blood Ring Arena Installation Crystal. Difficulty, hard to Nightmare. Entry level 18 to 25. Note, when the Blood Ring Arena and the Order Arena combine, the Cosmic Arena opens to all players on the planet. I held this crystal and looked at it for a moment. I came here this morning to buy some equipment. I accidentally took ownership of an entire arena. The arena dissolved. 3,000 players dispersed. Flashlight Guild left very quietly with their heads down. They'd found out I was with Wushuang Guild, and that Luo Yushang was standing right there. Suddenly, their whole attitude problem disappeared completely. Amazing how fast arrogance evaporates near a level 60 Sword Saint who one-shots bosses. I check my rewards. SS rank Bloodlust skill book. Buffs all allies within 100 meters with 50% movement speed, attack speed, and casting speed for 25 seconds. More mana extends the range. Epic tier Flame Blade War Banner. 1000 strength, 1000 agility, 20% attack boost, 20% crit damage boost. I thought about who should get Bloodlust. It's a support skill, works for all classes, but the mana cost favors magic users. Agaway. Obviously. Agaway using it means I benefit from it automatically. I do nothing, get SS rank army-wide buff for free. I handed it to Agaway without hesitation. Agaway cackled happily and immediately used it. A phantom war drum appeared. Beat once. Every person and undead creature within 100 meters lit up with red energy simultaneously. Lin Yandong raised his hand and stared at it. My casting speed just increased by half. Luo Yushang blinked away and reappeared. Drew her sword and tested the swing speed. Movement speed half. Attack speed half. Both. Cui Xianglong started shadow boxing the air. Imagine this during a boss raid. Lin Yandong went quiet thinking bigger. This range covers 100 meters minimum. In a city defense against the insect swarm. If 10,000 players all get this buff simultaneously, Cui Xianglong's eyes went wide. This is a Legion skill. The entire country only has 3 players with Legion scale buffs, and their combined effect doesn't match this one skill. Everyone got very excited very fast. I climbed down from my throne and greeted everyone. Brother Lin, Mayor Luo, Guild Master Cui. Lin Yandong jogged over immediately. Lin bro, you had me absolutely terrified the whole time. My heart was going up and down like a roller coaster. You need to work on your composure, I said, nodding toward Luo Yushang. Learn from her. Very calm. You're right, Lin Yandong said seriously. then pulled out his phone and immediately transferred 50 million to me on the spot. Per our agreement. Regional crisis response fee. That's too much, I said, checking that the money arrived. Our deal was for unexpected situations. I came here voluntarily today with Mayor Luo. Doesn't count under the agreement. Lin Yuan waved his hand. You perfect cleared the Blood Ring arena in deathmatch mode and made Flashlight Guild look like soggy vegetables. That's worth 50 million easily. I shrugged and accepted it. Then I told everyone that whoever decides to test me going forward should be prepared to get hit. I'm not gentle with people who perform arrogance in front of me. Luo Yushang crossed her arms. If anyone gives you trouble, handle it yourself. If you can't handle it, I'll step in. You have Wushuang Guild behind you. That was exactly what I needed to hear. Not the help, the attitude. I pulled out the Blood Ring Arena installation crystal and handed it to Luo Yushang. You deal with this one. Luo Yushang looked at the arena crystal in her hand, then passed it directly to Lin Yandong. The professional association needs to expand. Lin Yandong's eyes lit up. He cradled the crystal like it was a newborn baby. Absolutely expanding. Lin Bro keeps producing dungeons faster than we can install them. Chui Xianglong patted my shoulder. You're something else. Mu Tianxing didn't peak until after his class advancement. You peaked on day 1 and just keep getting more unreasonable. He mentioned I was now level 20 and should start thinking about the class advancement quest. Nobody had ever completed the summoner advancement before. Every summoner who tried came back with no information about what they faced. Complete mystery. Let's make a bet, I said. If I advance class, you buy me dinner. Done. Every swan in the lake if you want. Brother Lin's heart will break, I laughed. Lin Yandong punched Chui Xianglong in the chest. You all knew it was my swan, and nobody told me. I ate half a bird and couldn't even be angry about it. Then immediately offered to prepare a whole flock of geese just for me next time. The senior guild masters and city officials surrounded me talking completely as equals, not as adults to a teenager, just as peers. Nobody in the crowd watching thought that was strange. That's how this world works. Strong enough means you're everyone's equal automatically. At the edge of the crowd, Dawn Sword Guilds, Xiao Bin watched me laughing with the city's top figures and felt something shift in his chest. Days ago, Lin Yuan was a freshly awakened summoner nobody believed in. Xiao Bin was the carefully cultivated rising star of his guild. Their worlds shouldn't have overlapped at all. The day at Skull Cemetery, he learned there's always someone stronger. Today, he couldn't even see Lin Yuan's shadow anymore. Not because Lin Yuan moved too fast, but because they were simply no longer in the same world. Lin Yuan was the moon in the night sky. Xiao Bin was a carp in the ocean. Vice President Chun Ming noticed Xiao Bin's expression, smacked his shoulder, and said, "Be grateful you were born in the same city as him. Without him, you'd never see a blessed dungeon at your level." He tossed a car model on the ground. It expanded into an SUV. Loaded everyone in. Memorized the Lieshan dungeon guide? Good. We're running it when we get back. Driving back, Chun Ming thought about his own younger days. This feeling Xiao Bin had. He'd felt it too once. Every talented person thinks they're a genius. But between geniuses there are uncrossable gaps. The ones on the other side of those gaps aren't called geniuses. They're called monsters. In front of monsters, being a genius just means you're qualified to see them from a distance. Back at the compound, I found Mu Tianxing lying in a lounge chair by the lake wearing a straw hat, looking about 25 years younger and completely at peace. Guild Master Mu, where did you get your spa treatment? You look 20 years younger. He sat up. Stop exaggerating. This is what I actually look like. I'm 36. Then he glanced at Luo Yushang. Luo Yushang is a year younger. 35. Luo Yushang's hand moved to her sword handle immediately. Nobody asked. I forgot, Mu Tianxing said quickly. Never mention a woman's actual age. Especially past 30. Mu Tianxing. I was wrong. Moving on, he quickly changed subjects. The Dark Knights Guild knows I'm in Tianfeng City. They'll be coming soon. Luo Yushang's expression turned serious. You want to use yourself as bait and catch them all at once. Yes. How confident? 100%. Your curse energy is completely removed? Not yet. But I can remove it anytime. He paused. I can't remove it completely before they arrive. The moment I finish my third advancement, they'll know and never show up. He smiled slowly. The trap was already set. He was just waiting for the Dark Knights to walk into it. Luo Yushang approved of Mu Tianxing's bait plan. I pointed out one problem. The Dark Knights wouldn't just send their best immediately. They'd send scouts first to confirm it wasn't a trap. I suggested a counterplay. Have the professional association publicly announce large purchases of forest essence from the Elven Forest Dungeon. Leak word to Shana City that Mu Tianxing is in Tianfeng City. Let them analyze the information themselves. Meanwhile, Mu Tianxing acts visibly old and weak. Let them think he's dying. If they believe he's near death, they'll send their ace players hoping to use his body as a vessel for the Lich's resurrection. Then at the crucial moment, trap springs, curse energy removed, third advancement complete. Mu Tianxing loved it. Started laughing about how good the dramatic reveal would be. Then I casually said, "By the way, Guild Master Mu, shouldn't you be paying for the curse removal service?" He went blank. "What curse removal? Don't play dumb." White Bone Pearl. Ring any bells? His expression cracked immediately. I just figured it out. I'd been wondering why Agwe was learning skills so fast, 2 S-rank skills in just a few days. Then I heard Mu Tianxing mention his curse energy being removed, remembered all those times they were fishing together, alone by the lake, and connected the dots. Agwe had been running a private side business without telling me, absorbing Mu Tianxing's curse energy, which fueled skill learning, without informing the person who owns him. If Mu Tianxing hadn't accidentally mentioned it today, I'd have lost out on a massive payday. This is the first human to ever complete third advancement we're talking about. He definitely has good stuff. I held out my hand. Pay up. Can't the SSS rank skill card I gave you last time count toward this? Mu Tianxing tried. That was a random skill card. I got SSS rank through my own luck. You don't get credit for probability. But without the card you couldn't have no Agwe visits anymore, I said, standing up. Mu Tianxing immediately blocked my path. Wait, I'm just thinking about what's worthy of you. Wouldn't want to give you something that doesn't match your status. He rummaged through his bag for a while and pulled out a glowing tree branch. Ancient tree heart. Epic material. Can be used for weapon crafting. Wood-type summons that absorb it inherit the ancient tree's racial skill. He looked genuinely pained giving it up. He'd gotten it by killing a level 55 corrupted war tree boss. Had been saving it for weapon crafting. I took it happily. Perfect timing. I was about to summon my wood elf. I called Agwe out and told him, from now on, whenever Guild Master Mu needs you, make yourself available. Immediately, Agwe looked at me, looked at Mu Tianxing, understood everything had been discovered. He held both hands up open, gesture meaning, I didn't leak this. Mu Tianxing covered his face. He'd done it to himself by talking too much. I walked back toward my villa laughing. Luo Yushang walked beside me with a small smile. Behind us, alone by the lake, Agwe immediately turned to Mu Tianxing and made a gesture. The diamond fishing rod you promised. Where is it? Mu Tianxing pulled it out of his bag with a twitching expression and handed it over. You really are Lin Yuan summon. Agwe patted his chest and cackled proudly. Back home, I found Ollie had already left again. He'd only taught half his morning class before I summoned him to the arena, so he went back to finish the afternoon session. I sat on the sofa and pulled out the Wood Elf Summoning Skill Book. Level 20 requirement. 3-tier bloodline, upgradable to 5. I learned it immediately. Third summon slot ready. Wood Elf? I said to myself with genuine curiosity. Support type probably. Hopefully magic-based. I've always wanted to experience being a mage. I raised my hand and activated the summon. A 1.5-meter female elf appeared in front of me. She looked around at the world with wide, curious eyes. First impression, adorably clueless. I checked her stats and immediately had questions. Wood Elf. Support type. Should have high intelligence, healing skills, ranged abilities, skills, heavy strike. Whiplash. Root. Where's the support? I said out loud to nobody. Her SSS rank talent was called Endless Vitality. Never gets tired. Transformation skills have no cooldown. Immune to mind control. Regenerates 10% HP and MP every second. Good news. I now have healing. Bad news. It only works on herself. I literally cannot die. She heals herself infinitely. Neither of us needs this. I sighed and gave her the ancient tree heart anyway. She took it from my hand and immediately swallowed it whole on the spot. I stared at her for a moment. Right. Let's just evolve you directly. I opened the panel expecting to spend 5,000 points for Tier 4. It drained 55,000 points and skipped straight to Tier 5. Green energy exploded around her like a forest coming to life. Warm, gentle, like spring breeze. Actually kind of nice. When it cleared, a 1.65-meter elegant elf stood in front of me. Master, voice like clear water. Expression completely pure and blank. Like a brand new notebook. I'll call you Alan, I said. Orchid heart, delicate spirit. I opened her stats. Ancient tree elf. Tier 5 battle general. 160,000 HP, 160,000 MP attack, 32,000. Skills. S rank Great Earth Tremor. S rank or Stomp. A rank Crushing Strike. A rank Fatal Whiplash. A rank Ground Spike. Racial skill. War Horn. Transform into a War Ancient Tree. Attack up 100%. HP up 500% for 20 seconds. 6 skills. 5 physical damage skills. 1 root. I wanted a mage. I got a tree that turns into a bigger tree for combat. I sighed deeply. Looked at the ceiling. Accepted my fate. At least at level 50, I get the Naga Empress. Ocean Controller. Surely not a melee fighter. Surely. Alan, pick yourself a room. Avoid the piano room and the fishing room. Yes, master. Should I arrange your bedding? Or anything else? I'm fine. Just take care of yourself. She nodded gracefully and went upstairs like a proper aristocrat. Next morning, Agwe returned from an all-night fishing session with his new diamond fishing rod. 5 full buckets of fish behind him carried by undead servants. His fishing skill had upgraded from basic to intermediate. He was dancing with pure joy. No more going home empty-handed. Ever. I came downstairs, saw the 5 buckets, and said, "Nice catch." Agwe grinned and held up the diamond rod proudly. Then Alan came downstairs. The moment she saw Agwe, she went completely cold. Undead, natural elves and undead creatures are natural enemies. Her arm turned to wood instantly. A vine as thick as 3 arms materialized and whipped Agwe across the room. He flew backward and shattered the front door of the villa on his way out. Alan, stop. Her arm was already fully wooden. 1 more second, and she'd transform into a full war ancient tree and destroy the entire building. Alan, Agwe is on our side. Agwe stood up from the rubble. Several chest bones cracked. He turned around slowly, blue soul fire burning in his eye sockets, and looked directly at me. His expression said one thing clearly. Why is she tier 5? I introduced Alan to Agwe and casually mentioned his evolution would happen next time, due to a small accident. Agwe's fishing rod fell out of his hand. He stared at me with the expression of someone who just learned they missed out on 100 million yuan. Alan looked at the fish buckets brightly. Master, you haven't eaten yet. Let me make breakfast. Consider it an apology to Agwe. Ollie returned from morning training, saw the shattered front door, and immediately reached for his sword. Misunderstanding. Come eat. We sat in the dining room. 10 minutes later, Alan walked out carrying a large basin. For small black fish were swimming around inside it. Still alive. Occasionally doing little flips. Agwe stared at the basin for exactly 2 seconds, then instinctively pulled out his fishing rod and cast into it. A fish bit immediately. Agwe looked at me triumphantly. Alan smacked him on the skull so hard the bone cracked. No playing with food. Sit down. Agwe immediately sat perfectly straight and closed his mouth. 5-tier ancient tree elf apparently outranks his confidence completely. Alan turned back to me with her gentle expression fully restored. Master, why aren't you eating? Fresh fish tastes best. I don't eat raw seafood. You eat it cooked? I stood up and went to the kitchen myself. 5 minutes later, tomato and egg stir-fry. Genuinely looked pretty good, honestly. Ollie picked up his chopsticks first. I felt proud. Even Ollie couldn't resist. He carefully picked 3 different sized eggshell pieces out of the dish. Set down his chopsticks elegantly. Said nothing. I slammed Agwe's skull before he could make a sound. And laughing at the table. We ended up going to a breakfast shop nearby instead. Alan came along. Sitting down, my phone buzzed. Enforcement Squad emergency broadcast. 3 leaping lice insects have infiltrated Tianfeng City. Locate and eliminate within 30 minutes. Leaping lice, half-meter insect creatures, roughly dog-sized, came from the Insect Fortress dungeon. Something had apparently gone wrong at the Western Wall last night, and some burrowing insects escaped into the city. I was eating a steamed bun thinking about this when Alan frowned slightly. Disgusting insects. Her arms started glowing green. Don't transform in the city. I grabbed her arm before she could become a war-ancient tree and flattened 6 city blocks. Where are they? I asked instead. Alan lightly tapped her foot on the ground. 30 meters away, the ground cracked open. 3 ground spikes, each 20 centimeters thick and 10 meters long, shot upward. 1 leaping louse skewered on each spike. Huh, those actually were the insects, I said. The commotion attracted a crowd. I pulled out my enforcement squad credentials. Official business. Clear the area. Everyone immediately scattered. T and I from the squad arrived 5 minutes later, looked at the 3 insects skewered like kebabs, and said, "The alert went out less than 2 minutes ago. Lucky timing," I said. He explained the fortress situation. Western wall underground collapsed last night. Insects launched a surprise attack. The military held them back with heavy weapons. 33 burrowing insects had been found and killed. These 3 were the last ones missing. His teammates examined the clean single-strike kills and whispered to each other, 1 hit each. Incredible ground spikes. Wait, isn't Lin Yuan a summoner? His summons are the sword guy and the creepy skeleton. Who uses ground spikes? T and I looked at me questioningly. This is Alan, I said simply. Ancient tree elf. My 3rd companion. Alan heard the word, companion, crossed her hands together, and smiled with her whole face. T and I did a double take at Alan. 3rd summon? Did you complete your class advancement? Not yet. Still need 140,000 more experience. He transferred 300,000 yuan to my account, 100,000 per leaping louse. Apparently insects that escape the fortress into the real world are worth serious money. Inside the fortress they're worth basically nothing. I immediately started calculating. 100 insects equals 10 million. 10,000 insects equals. Don't even think about it, T and I said, reading my expression perfectly. They're only worth that much because they escaped containment. Inside the fortress they'd be worth 100 yuan total. My get-rich-quick scheme collapsed instantly. Before leaving, T and I mentioned that Fortress 37 might be heading toward a full uprising. All players level 20 to 30 would be conscripted. Watch your phones. I froze slightly at those words. 18 years ago, Tianfeng City's insect fortress had its last major uprising. That's the event that made me an orphan. I'd never thought much about it before. But hearing it now, one thought crystallized immediately. I'm going to destroy that fortress. Both our phones lit up simultaneously with emergency messages. Enforcement squad calling all level 20 to 30 members to headquarters immediately. T and I drove me to the professional association first since Lin Yuan had also sent an urgent message. Lin Yuan was already waiting at the door. He immediately pulled me onto Luo Yushang's jet. I'll explain on the way. The situation: a Tier 5 insect creature had been born inside the fortress. Previous uprisings never produced anything above Tier 4. This was new. Dangerous new. The military was prepared. What they needed from me specifically was bloodlust. Cast it on the military forces during combat. Reduce casualties to minimum. Lin Yuan would pay 50 million. Military Commander Meng Zhan would add equivalent equipment or skill books on top. I wouldn't need to fight. Just buff and observe. Deal, I said immediately. Though if it doesn't interfere with the military's operation, I'll have my summons participate too. Lin Yuan agreed, but warned me. The insects come in numbers measured in tens of thousands. Even strong summons could get overwhelmed. I said nothing out loud. Internally, you think your insect numbers are impressive? I have Alan's endless vitality talent giving me 10% mana regeneration per second. I am literally a perpetual motion machine for undead summoning. However many insects show up, I can match them in undead soldiers. The jet landed. We entered the fortress. Inside was organized chaos. Injured players being treated in medical areas. 500 fully armed soldiers on alert around a massive square. Cannons and crossbow fortifications everywhere. At the far end of the square, a blue crack in the air. 10 meters long. 6 meters tall. Luo Yushang looked at it. That rift is the portal to the actual insect nest. Everything beyond it is the real fortress. I looked at it. Thought about my parents. Thought about 18 years ago. And felt something settle very quietly in my chest. Military Commander Meng Zhan walked over and got straight to business. No small talk. My kind of person. He introduced his deputy, Ling Yi, level 30 Ice Mage, Fortress Combat Commander. Serious looking. Lots of killing intent. The moment I heard Ice Mage, I pulled out my S-rank Blizzard skill book. I happen to have something that might suit your deputy very well. Ling, he was not interested initially. He already had 4 A-rank skills and 1 S-rank. Didn't need anything. Then he saw the description. S-rank blizzard. His eyes went huge. The insect fortress is shaped like AU. If he stands in the middle and casts blizzard, he can slow the entire insect swarm simultaneously. Maximum area control. Perfect fit. Meng Zhan pulled out 2 items from his dimensional bag without hesitation. Conqueror's Contract. 50% chance to make any monster within 10 levels of you become your summon, leveling up to match you. Requires a summon slot. Usable at level 30. Awakening Contract. Bind a skill book. Learn skills up to 10 levels above your current cap. Usable at level 40. I stared at these for a moment. Conqueror's Contract means I can try to recruit a dragon if I find one. If it refuses, I'll make it understand what wishing for death but unable to die feels like. Few creatures would turn down the alternative. Awakening Contract means I can use it with the Naga Empress skill at level 40 instead of waiting for level 50. Tier 7 King Class Summon at level 40. These are perfect, I said. Ling Yi learned Blizzard immediately. Said their defensive capability just increased by another 10%. Meng Zhan then gave me a briefing on why just attack through the rift doesn't work. Years ago, another city organized 5,000 players to push through their insect rift and eliminate the nest permanently. The insects responded by producing 5 Tier 6 creatures. 4,000 players died. The fortress was destroyed. Tens of millions of insects poured into the city. Over 1 million civilians killed. Nobody has attempted an offensive push since. The current fortress maximum is 100 players. Any more, and the insects escalate beyond control. The insects come in tens of thousands, Meng Zhan said. Individual strength is low, but the numbers are overwhelming. And if the fortress goes into full uprising mode, the rift's color changed. Blue shifted to purple. Fortress 37. Difficulty Nightmare. Level range 20 to 30. Capacity 100. Everyone went silent. Meng Zhan looked at it. It started. Meng Zhan immediately went into command mode. Ling Yi got the troops organized and moving through the rift in orderly formation. I followed them through. Inside the fortress was completely different from anything I'd seen. 5 guards stationed at the rift exit to prevent any insects from sneaking through to the real world. Walls already repaired from last night's breach. 100 players in position, all level 30, many of them veterans who'd been here multiple times. 2 guys near the left wall were chatting while one of them smoked. Hey Lao Hu, if there's a Tier 5 insect today, think it'll drop a Tier 5 perfect essence. The smoking one, who Sanming, level 30 archer, explained. Tier 5 perfect essence adds 500 to all stats. Worth hundreds of millions. Extremely rare. Even if it dropped, regular soldiers wouldn't have enough contribution points to claim it. Just focus on farming Tier 1 and 2 essences, he said. Lucky Day gets us a Tier 3. That's a full gold equipment set right there. Ling Yi explained the system to me. Normal insects drop attribute crystals with 1 in 1,000 odds. 10 crystals combine into an essence. For different attribute essences combine into a perfect essence. Scale goes from Tier 1 giving 10 all stats up to Tier 5 giving 500 all stats. Then Ling Yi asked me, what's the range on your bloodlust? He was planning to adjust formation density based on my answer. Standard army buff skills usually cover 50 to 100 meters. I checked my mana. Actually too low to cast it myself. But Agaway has 40,000 mana. Using all of it, the range extends to, I held up 3 fingers. 30 meters, Ling Yi said, already calculating. Dense formation, we can cover most. 300 meters, Ling Yi stopped. How many meters did you say? 300. He stood there completely silent for 3 full seconds rethinking his entire battle plan. 300 meters covers the entire fortress. All 100 players. Simultaneously. Plus his blizzard to slow the insects. Plus everyone attacking at 150% speed. This is a legion skill, he said quietly, mostly to himself. This is terrifying. Insect army approaching. 5 minutes to contact. Prepare for battle. Everyone moved to position. 5 minutes later, the horde appeared on the horizon. First wave, 30 tank insects. Each one 4 meters tall, roughly the size of a truck, yellow armored shell, shaped like a walking rectangle. Tier 3 elite. Level 25. 250,000 HP, skills, heavy carapace, 50% defense boost, and self-destruct, 10,000 magic damage in 20-meter radius on death. Tank insects in the first wave, someone on the wall yelled. Lin Yuan showed brief surprise, but recovered instantly. Priority target, tank insects. Do not let them reach the wall. I looked at 30 truck-sized insects lumbering toward us and thought one thing. I'll go away. It's time. First wave went smoothly. 30 tank insects deleted before reaching the wall. Then 5,000 leaping lice ran into Lin Yu's freshly learned blizzard and basically ceased to exist within 6 seconds. Everyone started discussing the S-rank spell. Lin Yuan kept a straight face, but his eyes were clearly very pleased with himself. 10-minute break to collect loot. Attribute crystals scattered everywhere. Everyone rushing around collecting. My contribution score, 0. I did nothing. I asked Lin Yuan how many waves total. 9 waves based on previous patterns. A boss appears every 3 waves. He turned to look at me with the expression of someone delivering a gentle reality check. This is different from a regular dungeon. You can solo a regional nightmare dungeon, but here, individual strength doesn't matter against insect numbers. Even you would struggle against a single wave. You're right. It's different, I said, smiling without elaborating. Because what I was thinking was, in a regular dungeon, there are terrain limits. Here there are no limits. I can summon undead indefinitely, with Alan's endless vitality giving me 10% mana regeneration per second. I am literally a perpetual undead machine. Given enough time, I could field a million skeleton army. But currently, there's no reason. Regular insects give no experience. Low-tier attribute crystals block you from using perfect essence later. I want the best version or nothing. Wave 2 approaching. Prepare for combat. 3 times the previous numbers. 100 tank insects. 10,000 leaping lice. Alan tugged my sleeve quietly. Master, I hate insects. Can I kill all of them? Her eyes were glowing green. If I said yes, she'd jump off the wall immediately and transform into a war-ancient tree in the middle of 10,000 insects. Not yet, I said. You're the ace. Let the regular players handle the small stuff. You come in when things get critical. Alan immediately brightened completely. Master, are you tired? Let me give you a shoulder massage. She started massaging my shoulders on the fortress wall. Every nearby player turned and stared with pure envy. Who is this guy? You don't know? That's Lin Yuan. Solo cleared the regional dungeon. Wrote the dungeon guide. Got the Blood Ring Arena installation crystal. Wait, the guy who solo death match cleared 5 consecutive rounds, including a glory gladiator. That's him. Someone asked the obvious question. He's only level 20 though. Hasn't even done his class advancement. What's he actually here for? Right on cue, the tank insects entered attack range. The players opened fire. 3 times the previous numbers. Too many to eliminate before wall contact. The defense line started straining. I raised my hand and called Agwe. Bloodlust. Full coverage. Agwe cackled and burned 40,000 mana in 1 second. Red light washed over all 100 players simultaneously. Movement speed, attack speed, casting speed, all up 50%. Immediately, every single player felt it instantly. The tank insects that were about to reach the wall started getting eliminated twice as fast. The guy who asked what I was here forgot his answer about 4 seconds later. When Bloodlust hit, everyone simultaneously, the entire fortress lost their minds. What is happening to me? Am I possessed by a god? With 50% increased speed across the board, the mages became spell-casting machine guns. 100 tank insects eliminated in under 10 seconds. 10,000 leaping lice came charging and lost half their numbers before reaching the 50-meter mark. Total cleanup in about a minute. When Bloodlust expired, everyone got the same dejected expression simultaneously, like someone had just taken away their favorite toy. Then every head turned toward me. That was Lin Yuan. Now I understand why he's here. One person just doubled the output of the entire fortress. Lin Yuan quietly gave me a thumbs up. With Bloodlust active, he'd personally killed nearly 5,000 insects. His contribution score, 2,380. Mine, 1,600. From one cast of a buff spell, while standing still getting a shoulder massage. Wave 3 begins in 15 minutes. Tier 5 Dragon Insect Queen will appear. Every player went dead silent. Wait, the boss is Tier 5? Wave 3? Isn't the boss supposed to appear at Wave 9? Ling Yi's face went pale. Tier 5 Dragon Insect Queen. If it's a queen, she produces more insects continuously, endlessly. As long as she has energy, she keeps spawning Tier 5 dragon insects. Everyone understood immediately what that meant. Ling Yi turned to me with complete urgency. Lin Yuan, leave through the rift now. Tell Commander Meng Zhan what's happening. Tell him we will hold until the last person falls and not let a single insect through. He'd already mentally written everyone off. But his orders were clear. Everyone can die except Lin Yuan. I didn't move. I was doing math. One Tier 5 dragon insect equals 50,000 evolution points. 10 of them equals 500,000 points. That's enough to evolve Ollie, Agaway, and Alan to Tier 6. A queen that continuously produces Tier 5 insects indefinitely. This wasn't a disaster. This was a farm. Actually, I said slowly, you can send someone else with the message. I think I'll stay and see what this queen situation is about. Ling Yi went from calm to desperate immediately. Started talking about national treasure, Qingtinzhiju. Can't waste your potential. I stopped listening. He gave everyone else 3 minutes to evacuate if they wanted. Nobody left. The military veterans didn't move an inch. They knew their mission. The professional association support players hesitated briefly, then stayed too. On the east wall, veteran archer Hu Sanming lit another cigarette. His 4 teammates immediately produced cigarettes too. Didn't expect you lot to be there when I die, Hu Sanming said. Youngest teammate, shut up, you're all married with families. I don't even have a girlfriend. This is deeply unfair. Everyone laughed. Completely relaxed. Their attitude spread through the walls like a wave. Other players started competing over who would get the highest kill count on the incoming boss. I haven't even used my new B-rank skill yet. My gold greatsword hasn't been unsheathed once. Whoever does least damage has to call everyone else Big Brother. I stood on the wall with my arms crossed, looking at all of them. Betting on who's the best? Kind of childish. Little brothers. Wave 3 arrived with a completely different energy. 300 tank insects. 50,000 leaping lice. And 1 Tier 5 dragon insect hovering in the air, doing absolutely nothing, just watching. Waiting for the smaller insects to drain everyone's stamina before striking. Classic predator behavior. Annoying, but understandable. The big difference from previous waves. This time the insects had coordination. Instead of tank insects charging first as usual, the small dogs ran ahead as shields for the tanks. Within minutes, some tanks had reached the 50-meter wall zone, dangerously close to self-destruct range. Obviously, the flying dragon above was directing them. Insects with leadership versus insects without leadership are completely different problems. I snapped my fingers. Agaway's mana had fully regenerated. Bloodlust activated instantly. The entire fortress lit up red again. Bloodlust is back, let's go. 1 second, 5 shots, baby. Players pushed the insect line back beyond 50 meters almost immediately. The dragon insect saw this, decided enough waiting, and came screaming toward the fortress. Wings buzzing so loud you could feel it in your chest. Closed the distance in under 10 seconds. It was fast. Ling Yi kept trying to land slow effects, but the dragon dodged or used its speed burst skill to shake them off immediately. Every time he lined up a control spell, it had already moved. It slammed into a warrior on the wall. Guy survived only because he burned a survival skill in time. Half a second slower, and he'd be dead. Ling Yi was running out of options. I walked up behind him. You handle the ground insects. I'll deal with the dragon. Can you actually hold it? He asked, genuinely uncertain. Hold it. I shook my head with a slight smile. Ollie. From that moment, the question wasn't whether I could hold the dragon. The question was how many pieces it would be cut into. Ollie stood with his sword in one hand, the epic flame blade war banner on his back, eyes tracking the dragon's flight path, calculating timing. Agaway watched for about 2 seconds, then thought, why are we waiting? He raised his hand. Death grip launched. Thick death energy wrapped around the dragon mid-flight. Come here. The dragon got yanked directly in front of Agaway. Agaway bonked it on the head with his stick. Minus 14,600. New personal damage record for Agaway. Against a Tier 5 target. He was very pleased. Ling Yi was about to shout. Everyone focus fire on the dragon. Silverlight. Gone. Minus 2,239,200 critical hit. Ling Yi's mouth stopped working. The word, dragon, got stuck in his throat. Second flash. Ollie teleported behind it. Minus 2,198,700 critical hit. Tier 5 Dragon Insect killed. Tier 5 Agility Essence X1. Evolution points 50,000. Dragon dead. Without coordination from above, the tank insects and small dogs immediately became disorganized chaos again. Hey, I called to Lingy. Focus. Keep fighting. Right. He snapped back to reality and resumed commanding. His eyes stayed shocked for the next several minutes. Those two flashes of light kept replaying in his head. 10 minutes later, the last small dog died, and everyone looked at me again. Did anyone else see that? The dragon got one shot. 2 hits. 200 million damage each. I was standing right there. That's impossible. Captain Ling Yi was literally next to it. Ask him, Ling Yi confirmed. Still staring into the middle distance, processing what he'd witnessed. He'd also just figured out why I asked about the queen earlier. I wasn't worried about surviving the encounter. I wanted to farm it. A notification appeared. Only I could see it. Dragon insect eliminated in under 1 minute. Extermination mode available. Activate. I asked Ling Yi what extermination mode was. Blank stare. I've never heard of that. This fortress has always been defense mode since it appeared, right? Because nobody in history had ever killed an invasion boss in under a minute. The option had never triggered before. I thought about it. Extermination mode probably meant push forward and permanently close the rift. No more fortress defense rotations. No more insect uprisings terrorizing Tianfeng City. Possibly create a permanent large-scale dungeon. Risk, everything comes at once. Could be ugly for the 99 other players. I stood up. Agaway materialized my white bone throne. I walked up the bone staircase and sat down, looking at everyone from above. I'm activating extermination mode. Anyone who wants to stay, stay. Anyone who wants to leave, go now. 10 seconds. 10 seconds passed. Nobody moved. After watching Ollie one-shot a Tier 5 creature with casual elegance, these players would follow me anywhere. Husaming crushed his cigarette butt and grinned. Boys, time to become heroes of Tianfeng City. Everyone follow my instructions exactly, I said. Whatever I tell you to do, do it. Clear, clear, 100 voices simultaneously. Including Ling Yi, who had completely forgotten he was supposed to be the commander here. Activate extermination mode. The war fog around the fortress lifted instantly. A miniature map appeared in my hand showing the entire insect nest. White dots. Over 500,000 Tier 1 leaping lice. Gray dots. Over 300,000 Tier 2 spine snakes. Yellow dots. 100,000 Tier 3 tank insects. Brown dots. 3 total Tier 5 dragon insects including the queen. Extermination mode active. Kill Tier 5 dragon queen, Marabi, and close the rift within 6 hours. Failure results in the rift upgrading 1 level. The rift behind us slammed shut. Outside, Meng Zhan watched the rift close and immediately went pale. What just happened? Then Luo Yushang pointed at the map that had appeared where the rift used to be. A glowing light display showing the entire interior of the nest. 100 green dots in one corner. White, gray, and yellow covering 99% of everything else. Lin Yandong's eyes lit up. Lin Yuan triggered some kind of mechanism. Defense mode flipped to attack mode. They need to push through to the final boss. Kill it. And if they succeed, he looked at the skull marker at the map's end. They might actually permanently close Fortress 37. Outside, Luo Yushang and Lin Yandong both said simultaneously that failure wasn't possible. Meng Zhan didn't understand their confidence and filed a report to his superior anyway. His superior, Eastern Province Commander Liang Chuan, replied with one word. Wait. He happened to be meeting with Mu Tianqing at that moment. Showed him the report. Mu Tianqing read it and smiled. The more dramatic it is, the better my eye for talent looks. Back inside, everyone was studying the map, trying to figure out the best route. Left path, 500,000 Tier 1 leaping lice. Middle path, 300,000 Tier 2 spine snakes. Right path, 100,000 Tier 3 tank insects. All paths lead to the Dragon Queen at the skull marker. While everyone else analyzed routes, I pulled Agaway aside. Your turn. Agaway had been waiting for this moment since Alan evolved before him. He was cackling before I even finished the sentence. 50,000 evolution points consumed. Agaway advances from Tier 4 Bone Knight to Tier 5 Soul Knight. Death energy poured into him. His soul fire blazed brighter. He emerged wrapped in white bone rings he'd formed into full body armor using his bone armor skill. Cool looking. Extremely defensive. New skills acquired. Soul Harvest, racial. Kills collect souls. Each soul adding 10 skill damage. Stacks indefinitely for 24 hours. Gate of the Undead, SS rank. Open a portal to the undead realm, summoning 1,000 undead creatures per second of any type below 2 tiers of his own. Costs 1,000 mana per second. No cooldown. I laughed very loudly when I read that. The insects think their strength is numbers. I have 2 gates of the undead. Open the gates. Both of them. 2 massive blue portals appeared 50 meters in front of the fortress, each one 20 meters tall and 30 meters wide. Thousands of undead marched out every second. Mostly tier 3, some tier 4 mixed in. 10 seconds, 20,000 undead assembled. My endless vitality talent gives me 10% mana regeneration per second. My mana recovers 1,070 per second. The gate costs 1,000 per second. I literally regenerate faster than I spend. Agaway's 8,000 intelligence gives him 800 mana per second plus his mana stone. Also sustainable indefinitely. 2 permanent gates. Endless undead. The number kept climbing. 30 seconds, 50,000. A minute, 100,000. Players stared with their mouths open as the undead army grew past any number they'd imagined. I dropped the map. Pointed forward. Kill everything. Leave nothing alive. The undead army moved as one. I looked at Agaway, now wearing a black robe, holding a bone staff, cackling with his whole body. It's called extermination mode for a reason. So let's exterminate everything. Right, Agaway? Cackle, cackle, cackle. My king is absolutely correct. All who stand before us shall kneel. I laughed like I hadn't laughed in a long time. This was what an undead calamity looked like. The undead army poured out of the portals and immediately crashed into the insect swarm like 2 oceans colliding. Every second, thousands of insects dying, thousands of undead dying, thousands more undead replacing them instantly through the open gates. Husanming accidentally swallowed his cigarette, but staring at the portal. I'm level 30, and I've never seen anything like this. His teammate. I heard he's only got a few hundred summons max. Husanming. Try a few 100,000. And the portals are still open. Within minutes, the undead outnumbered the insects. The entire insect swarm, hundreds of thousands of them, received some kind of collective signal and began retreating toward the Dragon Queen's location. Ling Yi looked at his map with pure joy. Over half the insects are gone. They're all pulling back to the queen. I was already moving. Agaway. We march. My throne floated forward. Husanming on the wall immediately yelled down. Lin Yuan SIR. Wait for US. There's too much loot for one person to collect. We'll help carry everything. Practical. Honest. I respected it. Approved. 99 players jumped off the wall and fell in behind me. They collected every attribute crystal dropped along the path, without pocketing a single one. Nobody tried to steal anything. The reward for being associated with this operation was worth infinitely more than a few crystals. Ling Yi organized the collected crystals and handed them to Agaway. Agaway handed them to me. 630 crystals total. I combined them into 3 perfect attribute essences, tier 1, 2, and 3. Crushed all 3. 160 all stats. For context, a normal player needs to level up 16 times to gain that much. I did it by walking through a hallway. 10 minutes from the queen's location. No insects in sight. All massed at the destination waiting for a final showdown. I was already planning how to handle the Dragon Queen. Step 1. Don't kill her immediately. Let her keep producing tier 5 dragons for evolution points. Maximum farming efficiency. Step 2. Kill her when she runs dry. Ruthless. Efficient. Accurate description of my personality. Alan walked up beside my throne and started massaging my shoulders again. Master, you promised I could fight. You lied to me. I'd completely forgotten. After spending time with all 3 of them, I'd formed some accurate character assessments. Ollie, elegant, refined, claims to be a musician, plays violin over the bodies of his defeated enemies. Genuinely unhinged, but in a cultured way. Agaway cackles constantly, night fishes for entire nights, and has apparently decided to dress like a skeleton mage instead of a soul knight. Walks around looking like a fragile spellcaster. Enemy closes in expecting easy prey. Agwe opens his robe, full bone armor underneath. Cannot be damaged. Opponents completely scammed. Absolutely diabolical. Alan, perfectly polite and gentle in normal circumstances, will transform into a war-ancient tree and stomp everything flat if insects appear or combat triggers her instincts. Two completely different personalities. At least she's not the dangerous type when relaxed. I patted her hand. Soon. The final battle. You're the main force. No restrictions. Do whatever you want. Alan's face lit up immediately. Finally. Master is the best. I looked ahead with genuine curiosity. Honestly, I wanted to see it too. What does a war-ancient tree actually look like in full combat? Outside, Mengjian stared at the map, watching black dots spread across nearly 2/3 of the insect nest. What are all those black dots? There are almost 1,000,000 of them, Luo Yushang and Lin Yuan said simultaneously. Undead. They'd seen maybe 10,000 at the Blood Ring Arena and thought that was impressive. This was 100 times that. Every undead mage on the planet combined couldn't match what Lin Yuan was producing alone. Lin Yuan was practically glowing. 1,000,000 undead, Commander. Fortress 37 is about to become history. And Tianfeng City gains a permanent 100-person rift dungeon. He was already calculating how many new players would move to the city. Luo Yushang quietly added Lin Yuan to the inner guild chat. Messages from guild members rolled in. Mu Tianxing was already hyping him up, telling everyone to make friends now before he got too powerful to ask for favors. Inside, I reached the final area. Dragon Queen visible ahead. 500,000 insects massed around her. 2 freshly hatched Tier 5 dragons flanking her. She'd just finished producing them right as I arrived. I counted all the Tier 5 dragons present. 1, 2, 3, 4. Plus the queen makes 5. Perfect. Keep hatching. I have all the time in the world. 50,000 evolution points each. More babies means more upgrades. The queen apparently understood the thread in my words. She let out a piercing shriek. 500,000 insects activated Swarm Berserk, tripled in size, doubled attack power, 50% faster in every way. 3 minutes before they all die from the self-destruct effect, they launched a death charge straight at my undead army. For Tier 5 dragons flying overhead, 500,000 berserk insects on the ground. The pressure was intense enough that the professional players behind me were struggling to breathe normally. Interesting, I said. I snapped my fingers. Agwe burned every point of his mana in one burst. Bloodlust. 700 meters of coverage. Every single undead in the entire army lit up red simultaneously. Agwe cackled. The undead roared back at the insect charge. 100 voices, 1,000 voices, 1,000,000 voices combined into a sound that shook the air. The insect's berserk momentum visibly faltered. I pointed at the Dragon Queen. Alan, see that queen over there? That one I want alive. Everything else, kill them all. Alan had been waiting for this exact sentence since we entered the rift. She leaped from beside my throne. Her body erupted in brilliant green light. Release your fury. Warhorn. Alan transformed mid-leap. A 50-meter-tall war-ancient tree slammed down onto the battlefield. Her first move, War Stomp. 50-meter radius. Everything in range. Insects and undead crushed instantly. Disgusting insects. Disgusting undead. All of you die. She was laughing maniacally while doing it. I put my hand over my face. Knew it. Agwe cackled nervously and immediately reorganized the undead formation. Alan had zero concept of friendly fire. She just stomped approximately 10,000 of our own skeletons into dust. Ollie reached for his sword to go fight the Tier 5 dragons. I waved him off. Let Alan handle it. Ollie paused. Thought about it. Had Agwe build him a bone wall to sit behind. Pulled out a piano. He started playing Chopin or something while the battlefield raged 50 meters away. Everyone in the vicinity stared at him. Ling Yi opened his mouth. Closed it. No words existed for this situation. Alan stomped and shook and smashed her way through half the insect swarm. Her great earth tremor hit 94,000 damage per second across a 50-meter radius. Each stomp triggered minor earthquakes. The 4 Tier 5 dragons tried attacking her from different directions. Minus 6,800. Minus 1,324. Minus 1,236. Alan's war ancient tree form has 900,000 HP, and 16,000 defense. Plus endless vitality regen. The 4 dragons combined dealt maybe 20,000 damage per second. Alan regenerated more than that every second. She didn't even notice them hitting her. The dragons couldn't hurt Alan. Alan couldn't hit the dragons. They were too fast, dodging every slow, lumbering attack before it landed. Annoying flies, Alan muttered. She turned and looked at the dragon queen instead. The queen was lying on the ground, unable to move, belly swollen, actively hatching more dragons while eating corpses and bone fragments for energy. Alan, I said, capture the queen. Keep it alive. Alan's eyes lit up. First real mission. Absolutely must succeed. 3 massive strides crossed 100 meters instantly. Anything that tried to block the path got war stomped into silence. Alan reached the queen and raised a fist the size of a 2-story building. Crushing strike. Minus 300,000 damage. The dragon queen screamed. Her head nearly split open. The 4 escort dragons screeched and dove at Alan simultaneously, their bond to the queen overriding any self-preservation. Alan ignored every hit. Kept punching. The queen's 5 million HP dropped below 2 million. Meanwhile, Ollie was playing piano. Behind a bone wall. On an active battlefield. Nobody said anything about it, because nothing about today was normal. The queen finished hatching 2 more tier 5 dragons mid-beating. Her belly cracked open, producing them even while taking massive damage. Alan ignored the new arrivals and kept hitting. Queen's HP, below 1 million. The queen finally regained mobility, dragging her shattered body into the air. Looked at the battlefield. 500,000 insects reduced to under 100,000. Undead everywhere. Escape impossible. Fighting impossible. One option left. She bit down on a football-sized green orb that had appeared in her mouth. Devouring seed. Epic item. Activates insect absorption gene. Consume allies to gain extreme power temporarily. Death in 30 minutes. The queen was going all in. The queen swallowed the devouring seed. A second mouth grew from her tail and immediately ate one of her own dragon children. I lost my composure instantly. Stop her. Those are my evolution points. All 3 summons moved simultaneously. Ollie, Alan, and Agwe all understood perfectly. Fewer dragons means later evolution for all of them. Completely unacceptable. Ollie activated heroic charge, vaulted up Alan's arm, landed on her shoulder. Throw me. Alan threw him. The dragon queen saw Ollie coming and screamed. She'd felt her first child die to those exact 2 flashes of light. She knew what was coming. She opened the tail mouth to maximum width and called her remaining children home immediately. Ollie's 1 flash caught the slowest one mid-flight. Minus 2,329,200. Minus 2,147,890. 1 dragon cut into 4 pieces. The other 5 made it into the queen's tail before the second slash landed. 50,000 evolution points. 1 tier, 5 strength essence. I slammed my armrest. My 250,000 evolution points. The queen absorbed all 5 children plus the remaining insects who sacrificed themselves willingly. She transformed. Mutated Dragon Queen. Level 39. 12 million HP. Attack 90,000. New skills. Wing Strike, dealing 100,000 physical damage. Split into 2 bodies at 30% HP. And Death Berserk, tripling size and doubling everything for 3 minutes before exploding. She activated Death Berserk immediately. At this point, 30 minutes or 3 minutes made no difference. She was already dying. Might as well go all in. Her eyes locked on me. Some instinct told her, kill the weak human in the center, and the army collapses. She moved at near teleport speed directly toward my throne. Ollie stood in her path. Dark demon wings spread. Blood-red eyes. Listen. To extinction and silence. Alan stood beside him. 50-meter war ancient tree. Arms raised. My fury is beyond your comprehension. Agwe had built a complete white bone great wall behind them both. Cackle, cackle, cackle. To reach our king, you must first walk over our corpses. 3 summons. 3 walls. Each one harder than the last. The professional players behind me were quietly praying for us and suggesting I move to safety. Lin Yuan, the queen will self-destruct in 3 minutes anyway. Just wait it out from a safe distance. 3 summons can definitely hold for 3 minutes. I looked at the queen charging toward us. Tilted my head. Smiled slightly. Dying struggle, I thought. That's exactly what this is. Ollie. Alan. Agaway, stand down. I stood up from the throne. Right hand spread wide. A 10-meter white bone hand materialized in the air, the white bone throne reshaping itself into whatever form I imagined. I added hellfire, blue flames coating every surface of the bone hand. Then I checked Soul Harvest's accumulated count. 921,870 souls. 920,000 insects killed. Each soul adds 10 to skill damage. I fed every single soul into the flaming bone hand simultaneously. 920,000 souls poured in at once. The air around the hand erupted into a soul storm. The sound of 920,000 dying voices merged into something that wasn't quite sound anymore. Everyone on the battlefield went completely still. The mutated queen moved at near teleport speed. Too fast for Ali's slashes to connect. Too fast for Alan's massive arms to grab. Even Agaway's death grip couldn't hold something moving that quick for long. So I told all three of them to step back. The professional players behind me started panicking. Why is he sending them away? He's going to fight it alone. The queen was equally confused. The weak human dismissed his three powerful warriors voluntarily. That made no sense. She decided it didn't matter and launched directly at me. Wing strike. Minus 100,000 damage. My undead army absorbed it. I didn't flinch. My turn, I said quietly. Right hand pressed down. Left hand activated death grip. Black death energy wrapped around the queen, forcing her to attack only me for 3 seconds, unable to flee. The 10-meter white bone hand descended from above and slammed her head, pushing her back. I turned to Alan, who had returned to her gentle, normal form. Alan, have you ever seen fireworks? She looked confused. I closed my fist. The bone hand, coated in hellfire, loaded with 920,000 souls adding 9,200,000 bonus damage, detonated. Minus 14,120,000. The explosion lit up the entire battlefield. 920,000 soul fragments ignited in hellfire, scattering across the sky like blue-green sparks drifting slowly in every direction. The mutated queen's body disintegrated. Blue flame traces hung in the air where she'd been. Ali immediately produced his violin and began playing something gentle and melancholic. Alan started swaying to the music. Agaway and a million undead knelt in unison facing me. I leaned back laughing with my hand over my eyes. This was art. Genuinely. Notifications cascaded. 60,000 EXP. 50,000 evolution points from Queen. 16,000 for completing the fortress. 100,000 perfect clear bonus for exterminating every single insect. Nightmare Conqueror title upgraded to Nightmare Ruler. New effects. Permanent 30% damage boost in all Nightmare and below dungeons, and dungeons now have a chance to generate Hell difficulty. I stared at that last part. Hell difficulty. Higher than Nightmare. More evolution points. And honestly, Nightmare has been feeling a little easy lately. A dungeon installation crystal appeared. Fortress 37 installation crystal with 2 trait slots. Traits drawn. Call for aid. Summon 1 cleared player as an assistant daily, and Swift Feet. 30% movement speed boost inside. The call for aid trait made me pause. If players choose me as their daily assistant, meaning they get a version of me fighting alongside them based on my recorded performance here, they wouldn't need to do anything at all. Just watch. I think I might actually become famous from this one, I said to nobody. Loot from the Queen. Tier 5 Perfect Essence. 500 all stats. Used immediately. And an epic tier Seed of Life accessory. 50,000 HP. 20% max HP bonus, and 10% of max HP converts to attack power. Custom made for Alan. She'd be essentially unkillable and hit harder the more HP she stacked. I gave it to her. She was thrilled imagining her next fight. Final prompt. Hide your name from the clear announcement. Obviously not. Congratulations to Lin Yuan's team for perfect clearing Fortress 37 Nightmare difficulty in 1 hour 12 minutes. Let US celebrate. The announcement played. 99 professional players snapped back to reality simultaneously. What just happened? I saw fireworks. There was a boom, and the mutated queen just ceased to exist. Beautiful fireworks, honestly. Ling stared at me with an expression I can only describe as a man whose entire understanding of the world had been quietly dismantled. A level 20 unadvanced summoner. 14 million damage. In one hit. He'd thought I dismissed my summons to use the undead army as a distraction. Wrong. I dismissed them because they were in the way. Outside, Lin Yuan slapped his knee and declared victory. Meng Zhan quietly said, "This kid is genuinely supernatural." Luo Yushang just watched the map with soft eyes. 10 minutes passed, and nobody came out. Lin Yuan started getting anxious. Inside, where the Queen's skull marker used to be, a green portal had opened. Through it, a pair of cold, merciless eyes. Destroyer Kalaka, Tier 7 King Class. Level. Undead. His voice came through. I could feel his rage, even through the portal. Apparently Kalaka is the #1 general under something called the Corruption Empress. He'd conquered countless worlds. Today a level 20 unadvanced summoner had ended his fortress. He decided to give me a warning speech. "Human, you got lucky this time. Next time you won't be so fortunate. Remember, you have angered the greatest king under the Corruption Empress. I am Destroyer Kalaka." He stared at me with full king-class pressure radiating through the dimensional barrier. Even through the portal, everyone could feel the weight of it. I tapped my armrest lightly. "Moron. Your mother definitely kept the placenta and threw the baby away. Look at yourself. All that powerless rage on your face. Greatest king can't even handle an unadvanced level 20 summoner, and you're here making threats. You say I got lucky. You couldn't beat me. And you have the nerve to bark through a portal like a dog? Come out and fight me directly if you actually have the ability." Trash. Kalaka's entire body was shaking. His eyes were practically on fire. But he couldn't do anything. I'd completed the dungeon. The rules protected me. He was literally impotent with rage, and we both knew it. "Human, I will remember you." The portal slammed shut. Don't leave yet," I called after it. I wasn't done. I sat back with a faint smile. Just chased off a Tier 7 King-class entity, like shooing away an annoying fly. "I'll remember you too. Next time we meet, I'll just run you over." The exit portal opened. All 99 players lined up in 2 rows, and watched me walk out first. As I passed, Ling Yi glanced at the contribution leaderboard one last time. 1. Lin Yuan, 1,237,020 points. The other 99 players combined didn't reach half that number. Ling Yi closed the screen with a pained expression. Why did I look at that? I stepped out. Lin Yuan greeted me with his biggest laugh. "Lin bro, you finally came out. The news of you perfect clearing Fortress 37 is already on the desks of 2 of the biggest names in the Eastern Province." He explained that the regional military commander and the provincial governor both wanted the strategy guide for perfect clearing insect fortresses. Not demanding, just asking through Luo Yushang if I'd be willing to share. Luo Yushang relayed the request. "Would you be comfortable sharing the method?" "Of course," I said immediately. "There are over 40 insect fortresses in the country alone. I can't clear them all myself. The sooner others can do it too, the better." Luo Yushang looked at me with a slight smile. "Sometimes I actually have decent priorities."